I put are the American
Americans.
That's a good joke because let me get. I gotta fix it.
American.
I just fix it. Are the
Hey,
African
Gideon, you gonna do lamb today? Keep it real.
I ain't gonna
That's
go
for
that
the
deep
folks
on you
that said they're
guys.
not from Africa. Then
Huh?
Yeah, I ain't gonna go that deep on you guys. I know that tend to but I will say this.
I just want to.
When
I just
when
want y'all
y'all
to
ask that
get
question, it's
information.
kind of a loaded question because you're not gonna see a straight jump from Israel to West Africa. But when you do an anthropological
made it.
study,
You
you're gonna
made it.
see. But see,
You
now that's
made
the problem. You
claim.
always interrupting
Oh,
somebody and
I
you're
got
not
no
trying to hear
problem.
the
You made
complete
a
argument.
claim. Oh, don't you running from it. So you
He
said,
didn't
look,
run from
you
it.
got
That
to
Nah,
was a
what you
good
try to
question,
do, you try to
show me,
stifle the
show me,
conversation and kick me in the
show
back
me.
before I bring forth the evidence. That's what you try to do.
All right. Hold on. Share your screen. Go ahead. I'll put it on the screen. Share your screen.
Y'all said y'all want to smoke. Why you do him like that,
Hold on.
Garfield?
Yeah, relax. Gideon, share his screen. I'll put it on the screen. Let's go. You say you got the sources, right? Let's go.
No,
I'm gonna
I
be
can tell
open
you.
minded
I'm
today.
gonna tell you, and you can go to it. I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone. So
Gideon,
when you
have a
look,
good day, Gideon. You don't have no sources. So the minute you came out your mouth and said, as soon as you want to come out with the sources, you're playing a game. I already figured you out. You don't have no sources. You come on my channel every day. You the one that admitted live on the air. I might not be an Israelite. Yep. You might not be an Israelite. We might not come from. You the one that made that claim, not me. So at the end of the day, hey, keep the branch. I don't know what your claims are. Please let the audience know. We got 80,000 people watching. Please let me know what are your claims? What are you claiming?
And
Yeah,
we
we
stream.
Hebrew. I'm not saying all African Americans are Hebrews because I don't know their genealogy, but for the most part, many of them or most of them probably are Israelites or Hebrews, and it would be fair for you to get the Hebrew brothers back on here, man. I don't think you should kick them off like that.
Yeah,
You said you
let's
wanted
kill
to
all the
smoke.
Hebrews today.
Hold on a second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Please don't tell me how to run my channel. That was grounds for you to get kicked off. So don't tell me how to run my own channel. If you don't want to
I
be
made a
here,
suggestion. That's not telling you how to. A suggestion is not
I
a.
don't need a suggestion. What I need for you is to tell me, how are you a Hebrew or an Israelite? How? Tell me how.
Oh, all right.
How you came to that conclusion?
No.
Again, you a Hebrew also.
Okay, bro. Answer the damn question, man. Come on with that. All right. We grown men up here, man. Answer the question, bro.
I mean, what you mean? The Torah and the Tanakh teaches us that we Hebrews. What else you want me to say?
oh man,
We
I didn't
who?
expect you to come down here with no straw.
how does it say
Historical
in
evidence.
Africa?
That is
Yeah,
historical
nah,
evidence. That book is his. Hold on, listen. Let me answer your point. Whoever just said that, the historical evidence is the Torah and the Tanakh. The anthropological
Yeah,
evidence
right.
is the Torah
Do
and
we
the
all?
Tanakh. Did you let me finish, bro? You want me to talk, right? So all the evidence that you need, for the most part, is summed up in the Torah and the Tanakh,
It's
or the
not. It's
AKA.
not.
How does the
Let me
Torah?
finish,
How
man.
does the
I'm almost done. Let me make my last statement. Some people call it the Old Testament. Some people call it the Eternal Covenant. Some people call it the Book of Remembrance. It's all compiled in that. So I mean, I don't know what evidence else you want.
Okay.
you're not saying in the Torah where it talks about the migration to West Africa. You're not saying that.
Okay, in the Torah and the Tanakh, it don't use the word West Africa. So
Well,
that
then
would
what
so
we
of course
talking
I can.
about?
Don't let me finish saying. Just comment on what you just said. It don't say West Africa in the scriptures, just like America don't say West Africa. I mean, in the scriptures, it don't say America in the scriptures. But you missing the whole point. You got to
So it come
deal
down
with.
to scriptural interpretation then.
Yeah,
No,
you got.
okay, brother. We're not talking about scripture. You said talk to you about how we are Hebrews, right? So of course,
no,
my
we said give us
interpretation.
proof, bro. So either
Yes, proof,
go get
evidence.
Yeah,
your literature
scriptural,
and then read it and act like it's something. Bring us some archaeology. Come on, man. You
and
take
you
the
got to
Because
liberty.
all this
supplement the
fussing at us
Bible.
ain't helping.
So,
The one
I
thing,
You
just
got
the
to
one
told
thing
you.
you're
supplement.
not finna do is give us a sob story.
Hey
Yeah, we
man,
don't want
this
to
ain't
hear
no
that.
sob story. Do I sound like a sob person, man? Get for
Yeah,
real.
man. Just go
Yes,
get it. Come on, yo.
Hold on. I
yes,
just
please.
told you our
Yes,
source. Listen, I'm
Fine.
So
not
Okay.
listen, my
your source is your
brother.
faith. That's what it is.
No,
Your
Right.
source
no,
is
That's
no.
your
it.
faith.
Listen,
He,
dummy.
So,
Listen, dummy. The source is
oh,
Genesis
so
through
Dummy,
Malachi.
hold up now. Ain't no
Hold
dummy
on,
No,
like
hold
the
on.
dummy.
number
dummies,
one,
man.
number
Spicy,
Dummy.
one,
listen.
spicy.
No, come
Okay,
on,
Listen,
hey, it takes a dummy to define a
listen.
dummy. So he probably, you know. So hey,
You can't use the Bible because it's down to scripture interpretation.
Yeah.
You're
Right. We don't
I
do
interpreting
can't use the scriptures.
America
Show
and
me,
West
show me in the
Africa.
we
no,
don't
scriptures.
do
Show me in the
let's say
scriptures,
that. Hold on, pause,
brother.
pause.
You can't say that, bro.
Did say
we do
that
not do eisegesis, bro.
but let's be fair. Let's be fair,
He
right? I'm
didn't.
trying not to be talkative and talk a lot, but because I want to learn, I want to sit back and learn how people think and watch the information. Is there a scripture do you need me to pull up, bro? Because you just talking, you're ranting.
Right,
That doesn't
God,
prove
yeah.
anything. All right. Now, Unc and I want to see archaeology and history and anthropology information and so forth, right? But you don't deal with that. You deal with the Bible. So what first thing I'm gonna ask you is this. I'm gonna see if you could actually answer a question. What tribe do you claim to come from?
I mean, them are personal questions. I thought you was talking about general questions.
Man, come on, man. This guy here.
Yo,
But I claim, I know I come from the tribe of Yahuda.
what tribe do you claim?
I just said it, but the brother
What?
interrupted me. I said I know I come from the tribe of Yahuda or Judah.
Okay, all right. So now we could start somewhere. Good.
All right, let's start there.
Now we could start somewhere and we can bring our scriptures. Now I
They're
just
trying
wanted
to save divine.
I wanted him to say that. Pan mulattoism. What's up? You want to say something real quick? Or are you good?
Yeah, peace. I'll jump right in. It'll be brief. Actually, when I did my
Hey, the Most High helps at times.
Gone in the twinkling of an eye.
Oh man.
Hey,
Man,
Gideon,
I
you
wouldn't
gonna
say
apologize, bro, for dogging my brand, yo, for mischaracterizing what I did for African Americans, yo. Can I get that apology, bro?
It never was about because you've been selling them shoes for the longest, but I ain't never say nothing. But it's when the pot call it's kettle black. That's when I be like, damn, bro.
And
Like,
how
for
was
real?
that though? What was the black pot? I'm listening.
Because man, he's selling something tangible. You selling something tangible. He's selling something that's steeped in not only West African culture but Israelite culture, which what I've been trying to show all day. But the
I'm gonna
censorship
apologize
is
for making a statement about my shoes,
hold
bro.
on, Unc. You just said something again. It's something that has been shown in Israelite culture and West African culture. Now, in West African culture, do we have the Ketef Hinan amulet? What are you saying? This is why I have to stop you and say things at times because you say the most outlandish thing and you can't prove nothing that you're saying. Now, did Africans do divination? Yes. Did they have special items that they use and in their ceremonies? Yes. If you go to New Zealand, you see it. You go to Australia, you see it. You go to Europe, you see it. What idea did the Israelites make up? You don't tell me you like divine as a divination comes from the Israelites and the Africans took it on. And even if we did take it on, have you ever seen about Islam? How Islam influenced Africa? Maybe the Islam people got it from the Jews, or they got it from the ancient Near East, and they pass it on to Africans. It's possible. We see things in the Dogon culture. We see things, even the debate that Wesley had with Assar. There's things that Wesley Muhammad actually got right, that the Yoruba got from Islam. It's true. Islam was all over Africa. So when you say the Jews brought it, it could have been the Islam that brought it. That's the problem, because these are Semitic cultures. These are cultures that have nothing to do with Africans. So we take on things that the people who are in charge. It's like why we decided to start the black church, and I'm not trying to offend any Christians, because we looked at them as being on top, the white man being on top. So that means God was on their side. So we started to say, we're going to start worshiping the same God, hoping that we get the blessings of being on top like what they have. So then we started the black church, differentiating from them because they didn't allow us to do certain things in their church. So we started our own church. So we adopting other cultures, and what they do and what they worship is nothing wrong. That doesn't mean we are those people. We adopted the Bible. That don't make us real Christians originally, but we adopted that culture.
Thank you, Garfield. Based off of study, anthropology, I know I personally don't have a problem with you practicing Judaism, Islam, or Christianity, or Hinduism. I like Zen Buddhism, shit. But I ain't gonna act like I'm an original Chinese to do it. That's the argument. That's why divine suspect is suspecting he's scamming, because he goes to these conferences, man, and none of them say it. That's the point, regardless.
We're not practicing. Well, I don't know. According to the scriptures, it's not a religion. We are a race of people, a nationality. Being an Israelite is not Judaism. It's not Christianity. Nor is it Islam.
Let him live. Go ahead, brother.
I can't die, bro. So I can't help but live, because by the 10 Commandments, you keep the 10 Commandments. He says that's your life.
Carry on, man. You're getting on my nerves right now.
No one can question your holy.
You said you want to smoke.
Just tell me, how did you get to the Americas? That's all. How you got here?
Right, bro.
What's your pathway from Israel? Just explain to me how you got here. That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
And you said it's in the Bible.
I'm gonna sum it up in one word. Captivity is how we got here in America. Captivity, brother.
Yeah, but how did you get to where you got captured from? How did you get here?
How you get there?
Yeah.
It wasn't just one instance. That's what I'm trying to say. It was a migration.
Hold on, Gideon. I got you, Gideon.
You're right. No, you're right.
Listen, Branch seems to be an Old Testament only guy. So I want to hear him out to see how he's reasoning, because with the New Testament people, they use Luke 21:24 as a way how to say how we got into West Africa. And they use other scriptures, Joel 3:6 and all that stuff about the slave trade. So I want, and Deuteronomy 28:68. So I want to hear, what scripture do you use to say that you were taken from Israel, you ended up somewhere, and then you ended up somewhere, and then you ended up in West Africa, and then you ended up on a slave trade, and you came over here. So can you give us a breakdown of the pathway, how you got to this region, please?
Please.
I mean, y'all don't have the patience to really listen.
Here right now.
We don't got the patience with you.
Hold on. He got a point, because we keep cutting him off. I want to hear him. What you got to say, bro?
Go ahead, say it. We're on mute.
Yeah, I'm on mute.
Again, Gideon is fully correct. It was a process. It took years for us to migrate or to run from the Jewish people and from the Greeks and the Romans before we got even to West Africa and Central Africa and things like in South Africa and like that, right? So that was a process of time. All right. Number two, if you go to
let's deal with number one. Let's just deal with number one first. What are you using to get them from Palestine to South Africa?
Yeah, means a source. He means a source.
He means a source.
Y'all impatient.
You're not a
That's why.
Listen.
Gideon
we know
dynasty.
Let's hold on.
When you look at the Gideon dynasty versus the Ethiopian dynasty,
hold on for a minute.
You see the schism, and you see the refugee
hold on for a minute,
status.
Gideon. You ain't apologize for disrespecting my company.
See, whenever I come with that work, niggas be wanting to say apologize.
You didn't apologize.
All right, bro. Shalom, bro. I'm out
on my damn shoes. Look, get your wild ass out of here, then.
Hey, pause for 1 second, please. Pause for 1 second. Dante Scott, I don't know which one of Ong's channels are you on. Would you like to come up and talk about how they fled into Africa 70 AD? Can you come and break that down for us?
And give the source. I only just see the text.
Yeah, let's give us the
word
source.
salad, bro.
Word
salad.
Again, we went into Africa way before 70 AD. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That Jewish.
We don't want to hear you talking right now. We just want to know, why are you saying this and what are you using? This is simple.
What's the Bible?
I already told you what I'm using. I'm using the Tanakh. That's the authority that the Israelites. That's all.
All right. Hold on a second.
Let Pan Mulatto back in, Garfield.
Hold on a second. Let's tell him what we really want. What we really want is you to tell us, first of all, how you got here from Israel. So you were in Israel at one point, your ancestors. And just give us a walkthrough, a step by step, how you got
when
here.
I try to do that, y'all keep cutting me off.
All right, that's fine. So let's start with Israel. What year did this journey start?
Again, over 2,500 years ago, we ran into Egypt or Africa, because Egypt is in Africa. So before I go on, do y'all agree with that?
Man, go ahead.
And if you read in the book of Jeremiah, it's going to tell you different cities that we went into because we didn't want to. First of all, we was trying to get away from I think it was the Babylonians at that time, and we didn't want to do the laws of the Most High, and we wanted to assimilate we wanted to be like the other nations. So we left and went into Africa, aka Egypt. And
What year was that? What year was that?
I can't give you the year at this point. You had to come on.
Are you talking about in Jeremiah when they went into Africa and God didn't want them to go into Africa? Is that what you're talking about? With Nebuchadnezzar, and he sent Nebuchadnezzar in them after that as a punishment? Are you talking? They were running. They were at Lachish and they ran into Africa as a protection when the people were coming in to invade. So some of them ran into Africa. That's actually documented in history. There's a history of that about the people. There's the light system that they have, and that was down, and that's where they know that an army was coming in to take over. So they ran into Africa. So we have a letter called the Lachish letters. That's actually in my book. I actually quote the letters. So if you're talking about that time, there's history outside the Bible that confirms that they ran into Africa. So is that the time?
Okay, hold on. Okay, so even if there is history outside the Bible, that's not my concern. I know that's what y'all look for, but I don't look for stuff like that. So yeah, that's one of the instances. And then Jeremiah kept speaking to his people about certain things, but they didn't want to cooperate. They didn't want to do what the Most High said, so they just continued to stay in Africa, right? But see what a lot of people do, what these Israelites are doing.
Talking me to death, yo.
Can you let Pan Mulatto in, Garfield? He's in the back. He said he can answer.
No. Let me get back to Branch one at a time. It could stay in the back, but one at a time. This is serious now. You said that they went into Africa on Jeremiah's time, right? Am I correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they was in Africa and Jeremiah.
How many went into Africa? How many?
Many of them, most of them. Okay, let me. In fact, if you read, it might be in other books too, but in the Tanakh. But if you read, Jeremiah even tell you that they was like, man, we're not gonna serve the Most High. We're gonna do what we want to do. Our wives gonna do.
Seize the Roman Empire in 70 is what you said. Stay right there, bro. You said it was a siege, and you say they left Israel and went to Africa, bro. You killing me with this. That's what you said. Explain where you got that from. I don't want to hear about this, that, other. Come on, be coherent. Answer the question.
You got money. You making money, and you mean to tell me you can't comprehend what I
forget the money. No, bro. You said the Roman Empire seized them at 70. I did not say that. You're lying, bro.
I did not say that.
You're not talking about Roma. You're talking about Jeremiah.
I don't care about no Rome. No, I don't even. We were out of
the siege of Jerusalem.
We was gone.
Did you not say they fled? No, did you not say that though, yo?
Listen, we were gone out of Israel
way
before.
Of course, I'm saying, did you not say that though? Did you not say that though? Or am I?
No, I didn't say nothing about the 70 AD. I don't even speak on 70 AD like that. We weren't even in Israel in 70 AD. That was the Edomites that was there trying to perpetrate to be us. Right. We weren't even in there. All right, go ahead. So y'all think everybody's stupid? That other people don't read stuff.
So you don't deal with history outside the Bible, just only the Bible.
I did not say that. I just said that the Edomites was ruling or pretending to be us, and other nations was pretending to be us during the time of the
I stand corrected. That wasn't you. That was the guy in the chat.
Regarding sources, like you're not gonna give sources beyond just reference in the Bible.
Yeah, come on, man.
Because if it's the Bible, then it's circular.
Oh, hold on. So I don't give a care what your conclusion is on that part, because that's not the point I'm making. My point is that my source and my ultimate source is the Torah and the Tanakh. Period. And if you don't like that, then that's the problem. That's not the problem with me though.
No,
that's not the problem with me.
No, then it's just your belief. It's the problem. That's fine. It's just your belief at that point, yo.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you won't confirm it outside of the Bible.
Hey guys, you guys know I deal with the Bible, right? And I deal with outside the Bible, right?
Yeah, no.
Take my advice. Leave him in the Bible. Leave him in the Bible. There's a reason why.
Yes, keep him, man.
Everybody that come on the channel.
I don't feel he's not gonna quote a scripture though.
Yeah, we
quoted any like this time.
I didn't quote a scripture because I'm giving you a general.
But we don't need that though.
Garfield, you want to go?
Hold on. I think the mix-up is this, right? When he came on and he started talking, right? He was talking about we're mixing up. See, with Gideon and with the other guy, they deal with the New Testament. He doesn't believe the New Testament. He's an Old Testament guy, so he has a harder time to explain. He's the guy for African Americans or whatever than the New Testament people. They have more reason. But listen to me now. Hold on, Obi. Hold on. Leave him in the Bible. Trust me and believe. Trust them. Believe me. This one. Leave him in the Bible.
Yeah, I'm with Garfield on this. I do too.
I'm with you, Garfield.
I'm with you, Garfield. I'm
Leave
just
him
waiting
right.
for the
Trust me.
scripture.
Here comes Tazara. Tazara. He's ready for us right now. Tazara won't come with his.
We're gonna run through Deuteronomy 28.
No, he's not. But Tazara, hold on 1 second, bro. Let this guy with the Old Testament only guy, let him finish doing what he's doing. Go ahead, my brother.
I mean, no, go ahead. I mean, he can talk or whatever. I mean, I can wait. I mean, I'm just saying that this thing is more.
Cool. Go ahead,
This thing is
Tazara.
complex than what they allow people to communicate, like myself, when it comes to like dealing with just the Old Testament. And then you got to understand what Garfield just said. He said he can confirm what I just said about Jeremiah and those and the Israelites going into Egypt or into Africa. He confirmed secular information. So I don't know why y'all trying to make it seem like I'm saying something just like out of. Let
Tazara is on. Go ahead, Tazara. Let's go.
Shalom, shalom, peace.
West Africa.
Everybody on the chat.
Shalami.
Yeah,
salami and bacon. Salami and bacon.
So I heard inquiries about sources speaking about 70 AD and
Not sources to prove that we left from Jerusalem and
right. That's what I'm saying.
Western Central Africa, yo.
That source can say anything, but we need sources that show and prove directly.
Yeah, come
on. A group of people left from Judah or left from Jerusalem and went to West Africa. That's what we need.
Okay, so all right. So just to clarify, if I pull up a source from the 1700s, written by a white European man when we were in slavery, that says this happened, that doesn't count. You're saying?
Man, we didn't say nothing.
When did he say that?
No.
Hold on,
Tazara. Hold on 1 second.
Hold on. Let me.
He already gave us this information, Fortune. He gave us this in the back chat.
Oh no. I know about that. I'm just saying the framing. Like,
what does that prove?
No,
right.
Okay.
Sure.
We
want to read it. We want to see it. Can I get it?
My brother Hakar from Deacon Hakar also said this the other day. And I think what happened is when somebody says something like with Wida, you believe Wida is Judah, right? You have a whole video on it because somebody who's a Christian Hebraeus actually said it, who was from France. And I understand why he said it in the context, but it doesn't make it true. I think that's weird. All right, go ahead.
Well, I've said before, I don't care. Like that place could have been called Florida for all I cared. I bring out that source to show that it documents Black Jews being taken from that location to the Americas. I could care less about the name.
Hold on a second. You said Black.
Pull it up.
Hold on. I didn't hear that right. You saying Black Jews were taken from Wida?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I said, and that's what the source. You could pull up my video right now. I mean,
no, we want the source, please.
The source is in the video. The source is in the
video. You don't know it?
Nah, just give us the source now. We'll put it up right here.
Man, this is terrible.
It'll take me a few minutes to dig.
Yeah, take your time. We got all day.
Yeah. Time, always come with them sources when y'all come argue against.
Well, I mean, I had two. No, listen, I was prepared to bring sources talking about 70 AD Jews.
Let's deal with 70 AD first. I'm sorry. My apologies. Let's deal with 70 AD.
Okay, yeah, I got the video with the source in it, so I mean, it's not like I'm trying
let's do from 70 from Jerusalem to West Africa.
Right.
Okay, but before I even pull it up, you saying that even if something says that it happened, it's not even
no one is true, right? No, hold on, bro. Let's do this real fast. I'm gonna be very brief.
Hold up.
Now, wait a minute. Let me make my point, and then you can finish, bro. I'm simply saying, in the world we live in, you can't bring one source, and that's the checkmate piece. That's not how it actually works. Okay? That's all I'm saying. It has to be collaborated, bro. But we at least want to see the source.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Because what's happening is I was talking to Garfield, and then two other people are jumping. I'm trying to address what Garfield was saying. I'm coming in peace.
Garfield is saying what we're saying.
Everybody stops. Tazara is family. All right, he's family. He's not a weirdo. He's a weirdo in a sense, but he's not.
No, I'm waiting for he can bring whatever he's gonna bring. I just want to see.
But I like Tazara. I like Tazara a lot. Actually, I admire the brother. All right, but let me say this to Tazara real carefully. Do you have the source that I got to put it on the screen, or you want me to play a video? What do you want to do?
Well, what are we addressing right now? The 70 AD
Let's
thing?
address the 70 AD. Then we could look at the video after that you talked about.
All right, let me just.
So it's the 70 AD and they fled to Africa.
Yeah,
correct.
that's what we're talking about right now. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I've seen this source before. Yep.
Okay, can I say something too while he's looking
How
for
does
that?
that prove that they flood into a
Hold
whole?
on. We deal with methodology. We good. We good. And
Hey,
what
don't-
happened is,
y'all
I
gonna cross him.
don't want. Hold on a second, brother. I don't want people to come on the channel and feel like I don't let them talk.
I agree.
I'll give them the freedom.
I agree.
So I'm putting him on the clock.
I agree.
Ranch, do you want to say something in the meantime while Tazara looks up that source? Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, while he's looking for that, he's gonna be a failure because that's not us in 70 AD. That's not us. He's gonna fail. He's gonna fail if he's trying to use 70 AD information for us going into Africa. We was in Africa way before.
Look at this family that's watching. You have two guys who are African Americans arguing that one is wrong. That is
Right. And they both trying to be
I'm loving
Hebrew.
this.
They
right
both
now.
trying to be Jew.
I'm loving
I
this.
mean,
Exactly.
even in the mainstream Jewish spectrum, you have mainstream Jewish people who don't agree with each other and everything.
That's
so you have
right.
to take that logic and
No,
apply
not
that to
African
them as well.
Americans. Not African Americans.
I'm saying no. If you're trying to use that as an attack,
They don't agree. They don't agree on doctrine.
Everybody
And
stop.
how things
Everybody
are
stop.
supposed to be
Everybody stop.
There's
Hold
a
on.
lot
Everybody
that
stop. Everybody stop. Go ahead, my brother. You want me to make it bigger for you, or what do you want to do?
You talking to me right now?
Yeah. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I don't know who
See,
we
hold
talking
up.
to, yo. I'm just distraught at this point.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to forgive me. I'm not used to this pulling up presentations on StreamYard and all that. But all right, this is
This is from the Atlas Geographus, or a complete system of geography, ancient and modern.
course,
Okay.
right? Yeah, 1714.
John Nutt. All right. What's up? Mm-hmm.
So we're on page 39.
Mm-hmm.
It says the present Christians in Africa are partly strangers and partly natives. Some of them slaves to the Turks and barbarians, and others free. Some of the Jews who inhabit both sides the Niger River, it's talking about the Niger River when it says Niger, derived themselves from Abraham. Others fled hither from Asia when Vespasian destroyed Jerusalem. That's 70 AD. Or from Judea when it was
Hold on.
wasted
Stop.
on Rome.
Pause.
Something on this page you're gonna have to answer for too, brother.
Yeah. Others fled hither from where?
It says from Asia when Vespasian destroyed Jerusalem, or from Judea when it was wasted by the Romans.
Okay.
Should I keep going, or we can? I mean, because it talks about them being banished from Europe.
Go to the left side of that page. Talk about when they embraced Judaism.
Can you direct me to what you're talking about specifically?
You put up the page. It's on the left side. Should be on the left side, right?
Yeah, don't move it, yo. Come on.
Okay, yes.
Right
I read
here.
this entire page. Can you point out exactly what you want me to address?
Start where it says the Africans on the coast. We're gonna read all the way down.
The Africans right here. The Africans on the coast are still very gross idolaters. Mamo says that those of Barbary continued to worship the sun and fire till the year 349 when they converted to Christianity. So how are you trying to tie this into?
Did you just do that, yo?
Continue reading, brother. Some of the Negroes of Lower Ethiopia worship.
Hold on. Can you? Okay,
No, don't move.
Tell me
Don't
how-
move that.
tell me
Don't
how that
stop
ties into
moving the
what we read right here?
page.
Stop moving the page, bro.
Why
Go
you
up a
doing
little
it on
bit. Go up a
purpose,
little
yo?
bit. Go up a little bit. Go up a little bit.
Hold up.
Calm down. Calm down.
Hold up. I'm calm. Hold up. Who am I talking to right now? Am I talking to 93, Ankh, or Garfield?
You talking to everybody. We're reading this.
Okay,
Right. We are all
You're not
with you.
confused. You can handle this.
You know what? No. Hold on. Let 93 talk to him and
All right.
one person.
Okay. Go ahead, 93, since you got him in a stranglehold. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna say all that. I'm just saying there's stuff on this page that talks about Africans embracing Judaism. That implies they didn't have it before.
That's the stranglehold we're talking about.
Okay,
So-
yeah, I feel you're right. You're absolutely right about that. But this part I read right here says that Jews fled from Jerusalem in 70 AD. So what is
Absolutely.
We never said that.
No. Listen, because I see what Tazara's saying. It's a lot of us talking to him. So who wants to talk to him? I would. If who else would want to talk
go
to
ahead.
him?
No, you go ahead.
I'm not trying to drown the brother.
No. Go ahead. I don't want to cross you out. Go ahead.
Okay. All I'm saying is this source right here. For one, we learned on one side of the page that Africans in some point of Africa had to embrace Judaism, right?
correct?
Which means there is conversion going on in Africa. Now, on the right side, what he's saying, this book does seem to make the claim that there are Jews that went in the lower parts of Africa. So go back over that again, Tazara.
Okay, so just to clarify, this part right here is talking about Africans in some parts were converted to Judaism, which I do not deny. That's a historical fact. And this part right here talks about Jews fleeing Jerusalem in 70 AD and going directly into West Africa, specifically along the sides of the Niger River. So these two parts aren't in conflict with each other.
Say right there, the what?
Even in the Israelite community, we don't believe all Black people from Africa are related just because they have the same black skin color. So this part right here, the people right here being spoken of as converts, we would have to go and look and see who these people are. It's definitely not saying that the Jews who came from
I apologize. What's that? Can you read that line right there, sir?
I'm sorry.
Hold on. Read the whole page. So it said the present Christians in Africa are partly strangers and partly natives. Some of them slaves to the Turks and barbarians, and others free. Some of the Jews who inhabit both sides the Niger derived themselves from Abraham. Others fled hither from Asia when Vespasian destroyed Jerusalem, or from Judea when it was
wasted by the
Romans and Christians. Some were banished from Italy in 1342, from Spain in 1462, from the Lower Countries in 1350, from France in 14, and from England in 40. They're all different in habit and are divided into several wealthy and numerous tribes, but have no dominion, are despised of all nations, and so abominated by the Turks, and that they are not admitted to the Mohammedans unless first baptized and then made use of only to receive their customs and gather their taxes. The Kafir are what?
The Kafirs.
The Kafirs.
Oh man.
Who inhabit from Mozambique to the Cape of Good Hope, live promiscuously without ceremonies like our Adamites, and swallow in lust and sensuality. So now this is a claim. So what is the evidence of this claim?
Okay, well, first, can we agree that there is claims or evidence or documents saying that Jews?
Not evidence.
No, it's no evidence. It's claims. It's the claim.
These are all claims.
This is a claim.
We can agree that Black Hebrew Israelites did not write this information, right?
No, I can agree with
you. We don't know if they're black or white. We don't know anything about it.
I'm talking specifically about the author of this book that's saying Jews.
I don't care if the person is black or white. That has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with
hold on. Because I mean, I was listening a little before, and it seemed like people was trying to say that we're scamming and we're making stuff up as if this does not exist in historical books.
Okay, that's Unc. That's you and Unc talking now, right now.
I'm saying it too.
Hey, Garfield, can you share my screen too? I want to analyze the page. I have the page already analyzed.
No, but we can. I just want to see if we can agree on one thing. This information, whenever y'all like to say Black Hebrew Israelism came into existence, this information existed prior to that, right? We didn't.
No.
So this book in 1714.
It's pseudo.
So hold on a second.
Hold
on a second.
Well, we can agree that
Black Hebrew
Israelites did not make this up, right?
Hold on.
We can agree with what you're reading. We can.
Hold on a second. Do you agree that this is a claim?
Well,
and you have no evidence to prove this.
I would say the same is for all Jewish history. Anybody trying to tie themselves.
No. That's
yes or no.
All of it is a claim. Nobody has.
Yes or no question.
Hold on.
It's a simple yes and no, bro. We don't have to go back and forth.
I basically affirmed and said yes. It's the same for all people who claim to be Jews or Israelites. Nobody has 100%.
I'm not talking about no. I'm talking to you, man.
Right.
I don't believe it, bro. So whether somebody claim it or not, I don't care. The issue I'm saying to you is, do you agree this is not evidence?
Well, what would be evidence according to you, so that I can make sure?
You don't want to answer.
This is a claim.
Evidence is simple. Do we have a historian at the time period who is mentioning this? Yes, we do have historians that talk about what happened to the Jews.
We got a lot of them.
Hold on, Sabio. Sabio, come on, man. Remember, we have replays, bro. So when we talking and people talk over us, nobody's going to hear what anybody's saying. All right. Now, this is a source, but it's not evidence. There's a difference. So I could find a source that says anything. What is the source that this person is using to come to the conclusion, the X, Y, and Z? You don't have it.
This is actually this part right here that we just read. It comes actually from a 1600 book from John Ogilvy, and it seems that the you're right. It's a claim. The Jews, it seems that he's referring to here along the Niger River. It says they derived themselves from Abraham, so they got this information directly from these people at that time period. So now, if you're looking for something, that's why I asked, what do you mean exactly by evidence?
Right. All right. For example, evidence would be somebody who is a primary source of who is recording the war, like Josephus. Does Josephus say that they ran into Africa and West Africa, or they went to West Africa? Did Cassius Dio say that? Did Eusebius document that? Because the Jews are the most documented people in the world. So even after the first century, hold on, listen to what I'm saying. Even after the first century, right? We agree. Do you agree there was another war, two wars in the second century with Jews and Romans? Do you agree to that? The Kittos War and the Bar Kokhba Revolt. Do you agree to that?
Yeah. There were wars.
Right. So now, if all these Jews had vamoosed out of Israel, how did 500,000 end up dying fighting in the Bar Kokhba Revolt? These are descendants of the Jews, or the Israelites. So I'm trying to figure out, this is sources. Even Eusebius documents stuff that he heard that happened in Bar Kokhba, and he's like 115 years later. Cassius Dio, you have other sources that's documenting stuff that's going on in the wars. So where is the documentation of this happening in the war? Now, bear in mind, though, Jewish communities in the north existed, but I'm going to show something on my screen before real quickly. This is something called trade routes in the first century.
Yo, can I say something real quick?
Can I finish my thought that I was trying to say before?
Go ahead.
All I was going to say is, when I first came on, I asked, would a source from the 1700s count as evidence? That's why.
That's a good job.
Can I?
I said, good job. You did what you said you was going to do.
Yo.
You did it. You brought a source.
Yo.
That I agree.
Yo.
So now we're going to critique the source. You get
I'm
it?
just saying.
Okay.
Before I
good job,
put it up,
bro.
I was asking, would this count as evidence? And I was asking, I was trying to get an idea of what y'all would consider evidence.
Yeah, and then what I say, then let's critique it. Did I not?
Yo, Garfield, can you hear me?
I know, but the point I'm trying to make is, if y'all were just going to say that this don't count as evidence, I would.
No, we're not. No. It counts. It counts as evidence towards what you was talking about. Now the next step is, which everybody wants to forget, is now let's critique the work that you just put there. I have a fair critique of it. That's how we do it, bro. So you didn't come on here scamming. You came on here and did what you said you was going to do. Now, after we go through what I just went through, then we're going to see.
Okay,
you got it on the screen? Here you go. Look, I want everybody to see this. Look, since I put that in there. That's all I got to do for this. There you go. That's your page.
Is that AI?
It's going to read it. Let me finish. Now, I just want to come down here. So I asked a question, right? Does this page prove that the Africans were the original Jews? Great research question. The page you provided in light of academic research. Okay? You want to start reading that, Garfield? Let's go.
Key points about the statement. This is not a primary African source. This is a European work reflecting the perceptions of European writers. It is not an African text, oral tradition, or archaeological source from Africa itself. No supporting evidence. The statement about Judaism in Africa is not backed by citations, archaeological data, or verifiable historical sources. It reflects the Eurocentric perspective at the time, likely influenced by Europeans' efforts to frame African religions in terms familiar to themselves: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, missionary and colonial agendas to show Africans as fallen from monotheism. Modern scholarship contradicts the claim. Archaeological and historical research does not support the idea that all ancient Africans practiced Judaism. Judaism in Africa is documented in certain historical contexts, the Beta Israel, medieval Jewish communities in North Africa, but these are specific and localized, not continental or original to Africans. Africa's major religious systems before Islam and Christianity were diverse indigenous spiritual systems varying by region: Yoruba, Ifa, Akan, Dinka, etc. No evidence for Pan-African Judaism. Judaism was not a continent-wide African religion in antiquity. Claims that Africans were the original Jews are not supported by genetic, linguistic, or archaeological evidence. Scholarly consensus confirmed that Judaism in Africa was limited to certain communities and influenced by migrations, trade, not an indigenous African religion.
Summary. An academic position.
There were Jewish communities in parts of Africa, North Africa, Ethiopia from antiquity and medieval time, but there's no scholarly or archaeological basis for the idea that all ancient Africans were Jews. Claim that Africans were the original Jews is not supported by credible historical research. The page from Atlas reflects European perceptions, not historical fact. It should be read critically as part of a colonial era literature, not as evidence of African Judaism as an indigenous or Pan-African religion. Do me a favor, send that to my.
Can we leave it right there? Can we leave it right there for a second so I can address something?
Yes, we can,
okay.
brother. Go ahead.
It says there's no scholarly or archaeological basis for the idea that all ancient Africans were Jews. I agree. I never claimed all ancient Africans were Jews. The next line, the claim that Africans were the original Jews. I never claimed that Africans were the original. Who are Africans in this context? You just put in Africans and then you had it respond with a prompt. No, even the most BHI of BHI camps don't claim that all Africans are Jews, and they don't use Africans in a blanket usage like that. So that was a very.
We know Beta Israel has been accepted.
I'm sorry.
We don't argue it. We know that Beta Israel, or however you want to put it, Ethiopians, right? They allowed into the motherlands. They marked them down. So we're not arguing that. The conversation once again are African Americans who are West and Central Africans that ended up in the slave trade, brother. And the page that you put up is what we're actually talking about. So no, of course you didn't say that, but your page is explaining the page you brought. You're actually reading the page you brought is saying it don't support that.
Okay,
that's all, brother.
All right, my brother. Can you show me on that page where it says or claims that Africans were the original Jews?
No, that's the question because that
Hold on. Time out. I got something important we got to do. 93. Before I go any further, 93. You want to jump?
Yeah, I got some.
Good job.
Yeah, I just
inbox that to me real quick, please.
Absolutely. No
I just want to read one thing because I guess we have a source that makes a claim. So we don't have any following evidence. So I'll just throw out a source too from the 1700s.
Want to share it?
So this.
Okay, 1 second before you do that, my brother. 93. Forgot to say shalom to you when I came out. Peace, my brother.
Oh no, it's my fault because you know what? You sound older. Sound older.
Hold on, Tazara.
I didn't know that was you.
Fortune, go and do this in 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
I sent it to your email, Garfield.
Fortune,
I just want to.
Hold on, Tazara. Hold on, Tazara. You brought a source. Bobby responded 93, and then you. All right, I got you, bro. I give you equal time, bro. I got you.
We're leaving the source that I brought up.
No. We're not leaving the source. He's just responding.
No, I'm not leaving any. I'm not leaving. No, Tyler, that's cool. It's cool. All I'm saying is I acknowledge you found the source that made the claim. So that's good that's a Hebrew has done that. So the claim is there, and I'll just throw out a source that other Europeans in the 1600s said too. The land of the Negro is full of gold and silver and other commodities, but the inhabitants are most barbarous. They draw their origin from Cush and have entertained all religions that came their way. First their own, then the Jews, then the Mohammedans, and some of them Christian. And that is Memorabilia, Choices of Memoirs by G. Hussey, 1670. That's on page 9. So if you can find somebody who makes the claim, I can find somebody who makes the claim that we're converts. It was given us. If that's the medium, just claims.
Yeah. Also, we have over 10 claims where we could point out where they're saying that anyone in Africa who is claiming to be a Jew over that part of the world are converts. We have a source that says that in the 1600s.
Can I ask a question, Garfield?
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, okay.
It's Tazara's turn. Is it the same topic? Or are you changing it to Divine?
No, it's the same topic. It's related to the source, and it's about clarification of the source. So when the brother, when you read when it says Africans or Negroes, do you automatically assume that there's one particular group of Africans that are widespread, or like how do you interpret like when you see stuff like that?
Good question.
And why do you feel like you are part of that group?
He's asking me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's a good question. That's why I said when I read the other part of the page where it talked about them being idolaters and all that, I said that not all Africans are the same people. You have to dig and see who it's talking about. Sometimes, like in that source, it lists specific locations. It would say, for example, Negro land. It said the Cape of Good Hope, which is in South Africa, I believe. then it talks specifically around the Niger River. So if it's around the Niger River, we can safely assume that that's a location where Africans or African Americans have ancestry going back to. That's a very specific spot in West Africa.
Which culture is that in Niger?
That could be a number. I know.
Could be Yoruba.
Probably like
Yoruba,
the
right? Yoruba came here.
Yoruba, correct. Mm-hmm. So that's how I would go about looking into stuff like that.
All right. So Tazara, do you understand? I know you was gonna bring this on about AI, and it can be wrong, just to counter what said. But do you understand a difference between a claim and actual evidence?
Yes, that's what I was saying, and that's why I said when it comes to when it correct. And that's what I was when we started to get into the claims versus actual evidence thing. That's why I started to say when it comes to Israelite ancestry, everybody, regardless of their black, white, Asian, it's all nobody has 100% evidence to prove that their forefathers were Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's just not possible to prove that 100%.
What was the Jewish population around 1700s? The worldwide. What's the estimates based off of what anthropology?
Well, it is 100% proof. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me correct them on that. There is 100% proof. When you read in Joel 3:6, the Greeks, the Israelites were sold to the Greeks or the Grecians. That's talking about so-called African Americans.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on. Nobody say anything.
What?
Wait,
no. Nobody said anything. Nobody said that. Nobody said anything. Please, nobody say anything. Relax, my brother. Aya, keep the branch. Get off mic. Get off mic for a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me agree with him. Hold on. Get off mic, bro. Keep the branch. Get off mic. Where you at? You make a statement that you run.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. No, I don't run. I don't run from weak people.
Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, y'all. And this might get everybody mad, right?
You don't run from weak people.
Hold on a second. This might get everybody mad. Well, let me ask y'all a question, right? What's wrong with what he just said?
Who?
What the dude just said a while ago. What's wrong with what he just said?
He would have to prove that only.
All right, now watch this. Watch this right here. Watch Garfield. Because this is what I do. This is what Garfield does.
Did somebody say something about technology around here? Yo, we're not just using AI, bro. I spent money for this. My shit is downloaded with thousands of sources. It can read your shit. Hey, Garfield, do you have a PDF of that book he brought up? Because I'm going to show you. I can show you better. I can tell you.
Hold on 1 second. Did he just say something? Look at what he just said, right? Look at what he just said.
What's that?
What he just said, Joel 3:6. What did he just say?
In 7.
Now, what's this right here? Thinking that the time had come to press the demand which I had often laid before Sosibius of Tarentum and Andreas, the chief of the bodyguard for the emancipation of the Jews who had been transported from Judea by the king's father. For when by a combination of good fortune and courage, he had brought his attack on the whole district of Col Syria and Phoenicia. Col Syria, by the way, you know what that is. That's actually Israel. In the process of terrorizing the country into subjection, he transported some of his foes and others he reduced to captivity. What is captivity? He said he talked about it earlier, right? The guy Aya, right? That we in captivity. That was evidence of part of why he says he supports the Bible, what he says. So he transported some of his foes and others he reduced to captivity. The number of those whom he transported from the country of the Jews to Egypt amounted to no less than 100,000. Of these, he armed 30,000 picked men and settled them in the garrisons in the country districts. So this is actually the Phoenicians transporting Jews from Israel to Egypt for the Greeks. So Joel 3:6, he is correct, but it's actually something that happened in history with the Greeks during the Greek time period. But what he wants to tell you, Mr. Aya, is that the Greeks is referring to North America, referring to America. No, it is literally what happened in history, and it's documented by Israelites. So yes, you are correct, but your time period is incorrect.
Okay,
Hold on. Did the Jews get transported by ships to Egypt? Yes or no? They wrote this. Jews wrote this.
Okay, like I'm not disagreeing with what you just said on that part. I will have to do more research on that. I'm gonna be honest with you, but what I'm saying is that
you only read the Bible. So you're irrelevant.
No,
hold on. Mute up. Let's go back to Tazara.
Let me help him out. Real quick.
You see, this is what I'm saying, man.
Hold on. We're not listening to you. We're not listening to you. You made your statement. You jumped off mic, interrupted Tazara and Kyle to jump out the box with Joel 3:6. So I brought Joel 3:6 in reality that it did happen in history, and it's documented by actual Israelites who are real Israelites. Now, Tazara, you had made a comment regarding hold on it, Ong. You said so. Ong said something about his AI.
Well, you kind of wrong though with what you just read though. That's what I was going to say. I was going to explain that to you.
That's fine. But that was Greeks transporting, ordered by Alexander the Great.
That's not our history. We didn't write that. What you just read. We didn't write that history. What you just read.
Who wrote it? Who wrote it?
We didn't.
Who wrote it?
The real Jews did not write that. The real Israelites did not write that. What you just wrote. What you just read.
Who wrote what I just?
Wait, hold on
a second, Kyle. Who wrote what I just read?
The Jewish people wrote that.
No, but you also
or the Christians or whoever you want to call. They all the same.
I don't know who read it. But
so you wrong. So you wrong. You wrong with what you just. You wrong. You're wrong with what you just said.
All right. So Tazara, let me talk to you for a second, fam. This is Kyle. So what you got to do is you got to be intellectually honest about the narrative that you have, right? So if you are rejecting something because you said that the real Jews didn't write it, then you have to have a set stone date.
No, that's Aya. That's not Tazara.
Well, my bad. I
didn't say that.
I mean, I apologize.
You good? You good?
But what I'm saying is, if you have a set stone date and time where that someone else started writing things, you have to be consistent with that date in your narrative. You got to build a model, bro. You have to build. You can't pick and choose what stuff you want to accept into your narrative. You got to stick with a narrative and follow.
But I haven't done that. You didn't see me do that though.
Okay,
hold on. He's not talking to you. He's talking to Tazara, man. Relax, bro.
Let me show you how you have, right? So do you accept the New Testament?
No, he don't.
All right, perfect. All right, so you are Tanakh only Hebrew Israelite, right?
I mean, I only deal with the Most High's word and His law. So that's Genesis to Malachi. The New Testament don't got nothing to do with the Israelites. In reference to the real Israelites. Them are Edomites that you're reading about in the New Testament.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about Edomites, and I understand completely where you coming from. You believe that the New Testament is like replacement theory that's happening, right? You believe that they were replaced and the real Jews got kicked out, right?
Well, we were replaced by other people. You can go in the Old Testament and see that happened a number of times. When we would be in captivity, they'd bring other people into the land to dwell in our land while we in captivity. So that happened more than just one time.
Gotcha. So when those people were in the land, and when you look at the historical narrative of texts that are associated with the biblical narrative that you follow, did the people in the land that replaced y'all write those texts, or did your ancestors write those texts?
Which text you talking about? The Old Testament?
Yeah, we're talking about the Tanakh only, right? And you're saying
we wrote our people. Yes, sir. Our people wrote all the Old Testament. We didn't write the New Testament.
Okay, so the new. Wait, hold on. Are you saying that the Old Testament, the Tanakh, like, are you dealing with like the Septuagint portion, or like where do you stop dealing with the manuscripts at?
Okay, yeah, we wrote all the original manuscripts for the Old Testament. Maybe I should say it like that, because it wasn't called necessarily the Tanakh back then. That's the modern name for the basically the compilation of Genesis to Malachi. So the Greeks are in power now. The Romans are in power now. Them are the same people. Them are Jewish. Them are the Jewish people. They got different branches of Jewish people. They rule over Islam, the Christianity, and Judaism.
Okay, so this is just a yes or no. Did y'all write the Talmud?
No.
Mishnah.
That's the Jewish people. That's Jewish stuff.
Okay, so but you do realize that those people that wrote that biblical narrative from that time period are the exact same people that wrote that, right?
We didn't write the Talmud. You will not see that in the Tanakh where we wrote the Talmud. We didn't write. He didn't write the Talmud. You will not find in the Tanakh or the Torah or the Old Testament where we as Israelites wrote the Talmud. You will never find that.
Boy, that's because that's obvious. You wouldn't find people writing inside the Tanakh that we gonna also go write the Talmud, because the Talmud is a later development. The Talmud, the Mishnah, Gemara, the all that type of stuff is writing about how to interpret the law. Like, you understand that, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about Jewish writings. Those are not our writings.
No.
I don't know why y'all won't get that. I don't know why you won't get that. I'm trying to listen. Those are not our writings. A lot of our brothers read those writings and they think and they claim that that's us, but that's not our people writing that. Because a lot of that stuff that you're talking about, as far as the Talmud, the Mishnah, and all that, is contradicting the Torah and the Tanakh.
How did they get those writings and you don't have those writings? Then let me ask you that.
How did the Jewish people get those writings?
Yeah, okay. This is what you're saying. This is all in the same time period. This is like 100, 200 years apart, right? You're saying that somehow the Tanakh was written, the words of this biblical text was passed on to some people who are not you, but your ancestors do not have any writings about halakha, about how to walk out these things.
Hey, Kyle, stop 1 second. Hey, mute up for a second. Kyle, mute up. Y'all going in a whole different direction. Tazara, do me a favor, Tazara. You still there?
Yep.
Can you put that source that you had up originally? And by the way, on the screen, so if somebody could just freeze this and screenshot it. This is the population of the Jewish community or Israelites worldwide. Estimates based from 1170 to 2023. This is showing you in Africa is black. See that? See, so 1700. You see the black? How many Jews were in Africa at that time? Look right here. 1800s. You see the population growing in Africa? 1825. This is how many Jews they are saying are Israelites, based off the information that they have on the ground and based off of communications, based off of people moving and transporting and doing commerce, trade, merchants, boat owners, ship owners, whatever. They use a lot of different things to come up with these conclusions of all over the world. And if you're telling me that these people are you based off of being Israel or being Jewish, this is the population numbers worldwide right here. As a matter of fact, in the 1700s, how many Jews they said in the world existed at the time based off of estimates of population numbers, off of numbers that they have based off of who moved from where, off of records. They said approximately 1 million Jews existed in the world. 1700s. 1 million. Not me. The experts are saying that. So I'm saying that if there's 1 million Jews in the 1700s and in Africa, there's not that much. All I'm saying to you is, how are we claiming that we descend from these people, or the majority of the people that practice Israelism or Judaism or whatever, or people who are known about it, is the majority of African Americans, when that don't make any sense at all?
My response to that would be, I would ask you, how does that tie in with the Tanakh saying that Israel would be numbered as the sand of the sea?
As the sand of the sea.
That's figuratively. That don't have to be taken literal.
Deuteronomy 28, what is it? 64 fortune? Or 60, what is it? 64?
Oh, 62. Yeah, they get to be cursed, you would have your numbers reduced. You would be few in number.
That's few in number among the heathen if you read Deuteronomy chapter 4.
That's fine, but the mainstream Jews are only 15 million, period. So they're always going to be a minority. There was never a time where Hebrews couldn't be counted. That's not to be taken literal.
Does your source, what page is it on? 39 or 34? What is it? 39 or 34?
39.
Oh, you talk about
the source that you showed before, the one that you showed before.
39, I'm sorry, that's 39.
So
yeah, the curse says they would be few in number among the heathen specifically. So if they're among themselves, that wouldn't apply. They're among themselves. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 28 or 29, I'm sure.
So I have a question that I haven't been
able. Hold on 1 second. This source right here is the one that you read earlier, right?
About Vespasian in the Niger River and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, 39. I'm sorry, page 39.
You can take it off the screen. I wanted to show this real quickly. This is what I wanted to show on the screen. I wanted to show something real carefully right here. That's very important regarding what you posted. In 70 AD, based off of the documents that we have, right? So this is the Roman Empire. So if Israel ran into Africa, where would they run to, right? How would they get into Africa if they ran into Africa? They would have to pass the Romans, who they have in a war with. That's one thing. Second thing is, hold on one second here. Going through the deserts, if they were even going into Africa, were they accommodated going through that? Because this is something that happened 5 to 10 years ago, right? How 30,000 people went into the deserts and were killed or missing. 30,000, and this is 2014 to 2019. So this desert, what we have right here, the Sahara Desert, all this area here. Remember, there's not much water. There's animals that attack people. There's water issues. There's sunlight issues. There's sunburning issues. All type of issues that you go through traveling through that region. If you look at the map again, deserted area plus his land. This is a map of where people actually live in the deserted area. So wherever you see the yellow dots, that's where you have a population there. So if they're coming from Israel and they come into Africa, how are they coming in to transport themselves into West Africa? They have to pass the desert here. Some way, somehow, they got to pass the desert. So if they're passing the desert, what are some of the challenges that they have? For, of course, water, inaccessibility, the temperature, extreme heat, scarcity of water, scarcity of food supply, scarcity of living homes, non-availability of motor transport facilities, sand winds, communication problems. So those are some of the things that they actually go through. Now, at that time, between 19 BC and 90 AD, they had between 4 to 5 expeditions by the Romans, right? So the Romans were actually going into the region during that time period after 70 AD. So even if they go look at the Niger River, you see right here, that's why they found Christian stuff and Roman stuff in the Niger region, because they had expeditions. They wanted to see what the Gadamis or the Garamantes, who they were getting slaves from and all that stuff. So they had different expeditions going into Africa. And look what happened. It took them 3 months. They took elephants and all type of animals. This is real life, an empire doing it. So if Jews who is not an empire running into Africa, that's like committing suicide, because you have to have enough food, water to travel through the air. Plus, you got to need protection because you're passing where different tribes are. So running into Africa at 70 AD don't make sense unless you are allowed on the trade routes, unless you are connected with the Berbers. So now this is why we have so much documentation of Jews in Africa, even all this Bilal al-Sudan and all those different things. If you notice the Jews in the Arabic sources, they follow African traditions, but they claim that they're Jews. So these are actually converts or Berber converts, because once you see them say they're eating foods, they're doing different things, they're marking over the grave sites, they're doing all type of African religious stuff, but they're claiming they're Jews. These are not original Jews. These are converts. So most of the appearances we see in Africa, West African Jews, they are converts, not the ones in Timbuktu who actually left from Morocco. I hope we're not claiming those people either, because those Jews don't look like none of us. Those they have total different features. They have longer faces, narrower faces. They don't look like how we look as African Americans, although we can have different phenotypes. But if we look at the whole scenario though, with this desert, I think everybody is missing this about fleeing into West Africa. When we flee into West Africa, look at it from this perspective. If you're leaving from the north, or you're leaving from Egypt, if you're running to Saudi Arabia, and then you run into this part right here, the Mount Sinai region, and you end up in Egypt and you're going into Africa. Remember, this whole area is huge. This is not like walking to America. This is Africa now. So you're saying that these people walk through this area without the whole sufficiency, running away from the Romans into Africa, and think that they're going to walk and end up here? This is something that people have to think about. I'm telling you something that happened a couple of years ago. This is 2014 to 2019. 30,000 people. This is modern day. People got cars, they got cell phones, and they're dying going through this desert. So imagine, with no technology, no cars, nothing. You don't have no camels. Where are they going to get camels from? There was no camels being used yet until the 5th century, and then the Arabs brought it into play. The Berbers brought it in, then the Arabs took over that whole thing with the camels. Then you have no cars. How they going to transport? For you to get elephants or anything, that means you got to be a part of the empire who controls these elephants to travel these distances. It took the Romans 3 months to reach into side of Africa, the interior Africa. So you're telling me a Jew running away from Romans, although they're surrounded by Romans, everywhere north, south, east, and west is Romans, the Roman army. They run away from the Romans, run into Africa, and then ended up inside Sahara? And do what? We got to be smart with this, bro.
I have 2 things I would like to say.
Go ahead, bro.
The way you explain it, like if it was as difficult as this makes it out to be, then those locations would have never been inhabited by anyone ever. It would be like if it was just some lava land where nobody could survive. Nobody.
Can you see the screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
This is where they live today. Nobody lives in the desert like that. Nobody really lives there. These yellow spots that you see, look at the population density, 0.1. Less than 0.1%, bro. Nobody lives in these areas. This is the desert. So you're telling me Jews left from somewhere that's habitable to run into this? Nah, bro.
Okay, no. So do you know which way the Israelites are said to have traveled through Africa?
Man, I'm not doing this.
I don't.
Can I? Don't leave. I got something to say after they done.
Can I ask my question?
Right here. Is it here right here at the top to the north? This is where Morocco is. Jews were living here already. Jews were living here. So when they traded, they had the trade routes that they took, right? But these Jews, you don't claim those Jews. These are not your Jews that you claim. You want these Jews to be black and be jet black and look just like you.
Well, I didn't say nothing about that.
All I'm saying to you is Jews were in North Africa, but they were actually, after the Kittus War, a lot of them were kicked out of North Africa because of the uprising of what the Sicarii tried. So a lot of them were kicked out and moved back to Israel or moved back within the Roman Empire. And if we look at the Roman Empire, we look at the population, and you got to remember something else too, beloved. You got to remember that in this Roman Empire that's here, Jews lived all over Europe and all over the whole empire. They were more outside of Israel than in Israel. So 80% lived outside of Judea. They didn't have to exile. And then the ones that moved from Jerusalem out of Judea and moved up to Pella, that's what the records say. They moved to Pella. That's the only place that we taught that we have a record that they moved to. And that's in the Ebionite tradition.
So you're saying they got records to where all the Israelites fled to, and they got records with indisputable.
They're not lost.
Hold on. And they got records.
Listen, no, I don't have records. No one has records of all.
Okay.
No one has records of all. So let's get that out the way. What we have is on record of what in general happened to the Jews. In general, they ran to locations in the upper parts of Judea, which would be Galilee and Pella. That's what's on record in their records. In Josephus talks about who was captured, how many was killed, and so forth. He said 1.1 million was killed because it happened during a time period like when it was Passover or something like that, when a lot of Jews came back from outside the country, came in. So that's why a lot of Jews died. So, now,
can I make a point?
Go ahead, my brother.
So we sitting here having a debate over a group of people who we can clearly document making an unplanned trip through the damn desert.
Well, hold on. Let me
man, I'm fucking talking and I'm not cutting you off and I'm being cordial.
You was cutting me off earlier, my brother. You was cutting me off earlier.
Okay, so
hey, that's the right family, and Unc is my brother.
That's my that's my homie, man.
Yeah, chill out. Tazara, chill out. Unc is good people.
I didn't mean to make it seem like I was trying to overtalk you or nothing like that.
So 93, y'all from the same place?
Nah.
That's my sparring partner. That's my battle buddy.
So it must be an age gap. It must be an age gap or something.
No, I'm just telling. All I'm saying is he cool. You can talk to him.
Point. I never said he wasn't cool. He just ain't cool for this moment when I'm talking. Yes, we cut each other off, but we had instead of digressing, right? We had moved forward and allowing each other to speak. So I thought the new decorum was let a nigga speak.
Go ahead, Unc.
Go ahead and speak, bro.
So my point is very simple. We're talking about an unplanned trip. We're talking about African Americans It's taken us 1 hour and 20 minutes. Let me explain African American history. They come from West and Central Africa. It is documented. The slave trade is documented. It's one of the most documented events in world history. And it was ushered into the tune of about 12 million. They went to the Caribbean first, and they ended up in America.
How did Africans get to West Africa though?
Man, I will slap,
Exactly.
slap the hell out of both of y'all if I could.
Explain how Africans got.
I just want to finish though.
Let him talk.
Let him finish.
I'm damn near finished.
Africans have not always been in Africa. In that.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm finished with the story. That's how long it took me to get it out. That's it. Why did it take me less than a minute? Why is it taking y'all an hour and 20 minutes? Get this source, get that source. What are y'all, we kidding me right now? It shouldn't take this long.
I got something for you, Unc.
Hold on, let him finish talking, man.
And
Right,
after, can I go?
Do you see how easy that was for me to talk about Central and West African people, how they got to America? See how easy that was? I don't got to do the flim, flam, blim, blam, boom. If it take you an hour and 20 minutes, you flim flamming.
It don't take that long.
Garfield, can you share my screen? Because I wanted to read something real quick.
Hey, how you share screen?
I see the map right there. We want to talk about this map. These niggas that went through the
before we get to you, what do you call it? I think just now, talking to Tazara, I'm like looking at this and trying to fathom Israelites really going through this. Because if you think about the history part of it, the Romans started to have expeditions. So imagine them running away while the Romans having an expedition to go into the same area.
Right. So
hold on, this is what I'm trying to say to y'all. It don't make no sense.
Could I pull up a source?
So are you saying that those kingdoms don't exist?
What kingdom?
The kingdom in Carthage, the kingdom in Elephantine, the kingdom in Algeria, Morocco.
Hold on.
Go to Elephantine.
DDN Capone. I'm gonna mute your mic. We're gonna finish with Tazara. We're gonna get to you.
All right.
I got you. We got time. I got 2 more hours. All right. Now let Tazara respond. I think no. 93 said he had something to say, and then I'm gonna get Tazara then Sabio. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I put it in the chat. I wanted Unc to be here while he's seeing this. I put it in the chat about the Tichit tradition. So when you ask about it's doubtful that they would cross the desert to go there, why would we cross the desert when we were already in West Africa 4000 BC, before Abraham? Before Isaac, before Jacob, before Israel? We have material culture of farming and material culture of
15,000 calls. Give me the 15,000 polls about the what you call it culture. The musher.
It's in the back.
Damn, yo. Put it in the back chat right here. Put it in the chat. You got
it's right here.
Put it in the chat. In the chat. Put it in the chat.
Wikipedia, I got it.
Hold on, Garfield. I put it right there in the chat for you to read about the Tichit culture and the Mande people.
Oh, the wiki article. Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
A quick response.
We got that. But my point is though, we have evidence of craniums, although cranium is not used as much anymore as before. But the people who are what you call West and Central Africans, we see them in the region for the longest. We see them
craniometrics.
And even though people don't like the sickle cell trait and other things that stem from the sickle cell trait that we as African Americans have, which is 70 to 80% of African Americans carry today. I mean, we there's things that we carry from West and Central Africa, special things, special codings within our genetics that we don't even need DNA for. So at the end of the day, I could say for a fact, majority of African Americans are West and Central Africans.
Absolutely. And hold on, and he would have to deal.
The ones who mix with Europeans, y'all gotta answer for that part.
I'm tired of playing with them. Can you share my screen when you finish, Garfield? I'm tired of playing.
Hold up, Samuel is on edge. Hold on,
he ain't on edge. He tired of playing.
Samuel said, "I'm tired of this shit." Garfield,
hour 25.
But I want people to see the Saharan desert for what it is, right? And the Saharan desert, ladies and gentlemen, is not a play thing. Look at this right here. 2014 to 2019, 30,000 people gone missing in the desert.
With so television,
with all that shit, we got phones and YouTube. We could call people. Look at this. Most of those who die have succumbed to dehydration resulting from the
Crazy.
scorching desert heat.
Crazy.
Some bodies are never recovered.
Bro, that's in 2014.
Right, nigga.
You talking about in the 700s.
Yeah,
Can
you
we-
talking about people without camels diving out of the middle of nowhere, running from the Romans, getting stabbed up.
Hold on a second, guys. GD and Capone. The next time you interrupt, bro, I don't even want you on my channel no more, bro. You have no discipline. I told you I'm gonna get to you, bro. You see, I give Tazara free reign. Tazara came on. Not one time he want to talk, he don't get to talk. I'm reading something, you gotta interrupt. Oh, we're talking about the 700 ADs. Oh, so the sun is a different sun in 700 AD? What the hell? Some of you guys don't make no sense. And what happened is you believe to the point that you're suckered into the belief. You can't get out. You're trapped. You can't be like, you know what? This might be wrong, you know. What am I looking at here? I'm reading an article that you would have never pulled out because you're not looking on the other side of the argument. I look at all sides because I debate Israelites every day. I study y'all. Well, look at what it says. The journey, this is what most of those who die are believed to have succumbed to dehydration resulting from the scorching desert heat. Some bodies are never recovered, presumably buried by the powerful dust and sandstorms. That's from the UN. Not me, not Garfield making up an article. The UN actually wrote this. The Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert on Earth. Let me say it again. The Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert on Earth. It stretches across many countries in North Africa, covering an area almost the size of the United States of America. That's another dagger. So if the desert covers an area that's almost the size of the United States of America, you're telling me that these Jews who are running from the Romans, where they getting water from? How are they crossing? How are they crossing? How?
The cloud followed the Israelites and it rained every time they took a step.
Could I respond to that with a source?
No, because my source.
Yes, he got a source. You got to let him. No, you got a source.
You got to let Sabian go.
Please let me go. I've been waiting.
Okay, yeah,
Sabian
first.
My source is in the back. All right, I'm done playing. My source is in the back. I need something that's going to refute what Reuben Firestone has to say. All right, when Garfield gets his own. Reuben Firestone, the author of this book that I'm presenting, Children of Abraham.
Go ahead, read it, bro.
I'm in part 1. When it's on the screen, I want everybody to see what it says. A survey of Jewish history. It says, Jewish history emerges out of the mists of the ancient Middle East, a region that produced some of the earliest literatures of humankind. Much of this ancient literature is mythic, and the early material of the Bible finds literary and linguistic parallels with some of the mythic Middle Eastern literature of the most ancient period. Hold up, because I got about a page and a half to read. It ain't that much. Historians do not rely on any scripture as a source of history without corroboration from other sources, such as ancient artifacts, royal chronicles, or archives of neighboring kingdoms, or archaeological studies. None of y'all have presented any of that. Accordingly, hold up, here comes some punches I need y'all to deal with. Accordingly, there is no definitive corroboration for much of the history found in the early books of the Bible. So although it may in fact be historically accurate, historians do not accept its representation as necessarily factual. Hold on. Rather, they tend to see the early history of Judaism and the Jewish people as emerging out of an ancient world where history and myth merge. The merging of history with myth is sometimes called sacred history, and it is clear that the academic history of Judaism emerges out of the sacred history of Judaism. Can anyone of you guys refute anything that Reuben Firestone just presented?
Hey, Tazara, you up, bro? And I see you got. Look what he got up, Unc. He got Anacalypsis off with Godfrey Higgins.
Oh no.
No, let him do it. Let him rock out. It's a source. You let him rock out. We respect everybody that brings us source.
Yeah, these books say a lot of different things, but
these are classics. These are classics right here.
Stop, yo.
Classic nigga brew shit.
Definitely from the conscious community. Definitely from
okay, so then we can agree that Black Hebrew Israelites didn't make up this information, right?
No, they did make it up. And we know when they made it up.
Oh, Rabon!
It's made in America, bro.
Hey, I just killed you.
It was made in America. It was made in America, bro. Y'all don't got nobody past William Sounders Crowdy that ever taught any of that shit. And he told you where he got it from. He said he had a dream that the black people would have.
Oh, he's bringing up lamb for you, bro. He got you, Fortune.
Fuck out of here with that lamb.
Let Fortune handle it. 93.
This is
who got lamb?
93. He's gonna kill me right now with the lamb sauce. He's killing me.
This is just about the travel route.
Go ahead, my brother.
It's in response to the map of the Sahara.
What's the date of your book, bro? What's the date of your book?
17 something.
That's like
1790.
So that's how you feel, yo.
It's actually in the 1700s, but
that's how you feel, yo.
Are you allowed to interject a 1700s document in a modern day?
You know fun, Cedric. Get out of here with your.
Hold on. Let me just
leave my young brother alone, man. Leave my
young brother. How old is he, man? I want to know. I'm tired of that.
Garfield, 1700. The methodology is outdated. We don't even consider stuff from the 1950s as relevant. This dude is bringing a 1700 document.
Let me respond to that. So with
hold on, Tazara, don't respond to that. Read your source. For
example, with Ptolemy, you guys hold up. Somebody just mentioned Josephus. That's like how old is that? But this
but Josephus, listen. Let's read your source.
Hold on. We're gonna play games about the age of this.
What is the book supposed to be verifying, brother? Just answer that.
I mean, hold up. What's going on, man? What's going on?
No, I'm asking why are you bringing the source? That's what's going on. I'm not gonna waste
my time if we're gonna start taking shots.
Okay, well you can just leave. I just asked you why you bringing the source. That's all.
I mean, who is that talking about?
Is it going to refute? Is it going to refute what I just read?
Man, What is going on
here? I'll just read it. I'll just let that.
I just want to know.
Go ahead and read it, bro. Go ahead and read it, bro. Go ahead.
Can I ask you, Garfield, why is he reading?
You're messing up the show, man.
I'm not messing up the show. Can I get the reason why?
You're messing up your live stream, bro.
Can I just get the reason why from somebody?
To respond to Art, this is in response to the map about the Sahara and how the Jews, it would have been difficult for them to travel. So
thank you.
I see what you're asking. My fault. I was responding to the other guy who was talking about the age of the source. But this page 603. It says the tribe of Judah. We read it right here. The tribe of Judah was not stopped in its migration westward by the sea, or perhaps when it was driven out from Egypt. Part of it moved to the west along the coast of the Mediterranean till it got round to Guinea. So it's saying here that they traveled along the Mediterranean coast, not that they went directly through the mainland. So that would be a response to how they got to West Africa.
Oh,
that's all. That's all. That's the only thing I went there for.
Boy, I tell you, man. I tell you. Garfield.
Oh,
go ahead, Danny.
Okay. What can I? Okay. Oh yeah. Did you have anything to say about the material culture in West Africa predating the Israelites?
Oh, what I was gonna say to that is the Israelite position. We don't deny that there was people in West Africa. We would argue and show documents showing that Israelites went through Africa into West Africa, and once they got there, they intermingled and mixed with the populations that they came across. They adopted their cultures and all that. They mixed.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. You know what the problem is? And I'm sorry to cut you off. The apparent problem is when it comes to metallurgy and when it comes to farming in particular, if you follow where I'm about to go, it's only one real group of people that introduced that in Africa, because prior to that was hunter-gatherers. We know what the hunter-gatherers were. We know their line of descent. We know who brought in agriculture. And those would be the Niger-Congo speaking people that we descend from. And they have pottery and Unjugu that goes back to 9500 BC. And we have proto-Mali speakers in the Tichit culture at 4000 BC.
Okay, what that we not claiming? You know, Jews don't come before 9,000 BCE, right?
Bro, don't get involved.
Please
Because
don't.
that's not helping the situation.
But I'm saying, why you going that far back? We talking about the Jews. You all the way. You mentioned
I'm
something.
showing that we predate the Jews.
Okay, you can
By the
predate
way,
what the brother
we
said
gotta
that they
respond.
assimilated into the culture.
Time out. We gotta respond to Tazarah's source that he read from Anacalypsis, by the way. When he said the tribe of Judah was not stopped in its migration westward by the sea, or perhaps when it was driven out from Egypt. Part of it moved to the west along the coast of Mediterranean till it got around to Guinea, and there it is yet with its native curly head, possessing a beautiful country full of fine rivers, among which are found the river Frat and Jachin. What is that? What is that talking about? What is the river Frat and Jachin? What is that? That's for Tazarah.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but it says
they
went to Guinea.
You're dismissed.
I read a source. You're dismissed. You read a source.
Hold on 1 second. We got to address the source because it really boils down to the whole lamb thing, because it goes on to talk about it would be very curious to examine the language of these people. Idris in the 12th century said that the Jews occupied the country on the river Lam, and that is called Yahandi. So before we get into the lamb conversation, we got to address this source that he said.
Well, I didn't hold on. I didn't mention nothing about lamb or nothing. I'm just showing.
No. I ain't worried about the lamb part.
I'm
more about what you're saying, because you're saying this is a counter to what I said about the Saharan desert, that the Jews migrated, Judah migrated westward by the sea. Where in the Bible it says that they migrated by sea?
Yeah, but before you get there,
hold on. I'm talking to Tazarah. Let Tazarah deal with it. Let him deal with this.
The Bible doesn't give any specifics as to methods.
What time period is this, brother? It says the tribe of Judah was not stopped in its migration westward by the sea, or perhaps when it was driven out from Egypt. Part of it moved along the coast of the Mediterranean until it got around to Guinea. So it's saying they're coming out of Egypt. This is when
No. That's talking about in Jeremiah 44:1. If you read Jeremiah 44:1, it's Jeremiah is writing to all the Jews that scattered in Egypt, in different places in Egypt, Taphanes, Memphis. You get like about 9 cities. That's what this is talking about.
You're driven out from Egypt. How do you end up on the Mediterranean Sea if you're driven out of Egypt? If you're running from people? We already spoke about this already.
No, hold on.
You know what a Mediterranean Sea is, right?
GD and Capone, you have no effing discipline. Just relax. I'm asking a question. What is this talking about? Because if you look at the top, it says in all these countries, the Palestinian Samoans are found. What is more remarkable, the Phanoi or the Phoenicians are found in Egypt, and in 2 of the eastern Syrias together, as the reader has seen, with several other striking coincidences. In 3 of them, all the Mosaic Missal is found, but without the Pentateuch, which was later compilation of the people of the 4th country, and in all of the 4, Christians are found, though their origins are forgotten and variously accounted for. The persons whom Manetho calls royal shepherds, he also calls Phoenicians and Hellenes. The tribe of Judah was not stopped in its migration westward by the sea. So it's not talking in a Jeremiah context. He's talking about Manetho and the royal shepherds. He's talking about the damn Hiscos. That's what he's talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, I should have cleared this up. This ain't talking about 70 AD. And if you I just showed this to establish that they had routes going to West Africa that did not involve.
Okay, you know what? I appreciate you doing that, right? But this is the problem with what you're doing. The problem is, even if let's look at this map again now. Let's go back to this map right here.
We ain't gotta go there. He talk about Manetho and them don't know nothing about West Africa. So what is he talking about?
Yeah. Right.
Why we going there?
Yeah.
What I was gonna do is show a map of Egypt and where the Mediterranean Sea is. We could look at this map and you see where the Mediterranean is. How they end up in West Africa? Are you saying they circumnavigate like in the time of Nico? What is it talking about? I'm trying to see how that even challenges what I'm saying.
Well,
you got go to another one.
Of course, but that's not proof. That's not no evidence.
It's saying that they traveled along the coast, not that they went directly through the continent of Africa.
All right. So do you have evidence of the Egyptians at that time, the people in Judah traveling by boats? Is that in the records of Judah?
Come on, Garfield, stop playing with him.
I mean,
Egypt
if
is
we gotta,
already in Africa, bro.
Yeah, come on, let's we already killed it.
how did y'all kill this? This shows that they didn't have to travel directly through the continent, and so that map, it don't matter what's on that map. They
Yo,
had
bro.
You can even go to the Jewish virtual.
The brother that's talking. Where is Egypt?
You could go to the Jewish
Where
virtual
is
library website.
What is the country of Egypt, bro? Where's that at?
What do you mean?
Is
It's
it in Africa? Yes or no?
It's on the continent of Africa.
Yes, it's in Africa.
So what the hell are you talking about?
What do you think I'm talking about? So I can make sure we're on the same page.
Oh man, Unc got the Spanish expensive chat GPT, yo.
I'm trying to tell you, yo. I don't know what y'all want to do. I don't play with y'all niggas.
Hold up,
I'm not doing it. I spend good money to beat y'all half the
What? I want to understand. What do you guys think I'm trying to say?
I've analyzed the book already. Y'all in the Stone Age. What do we want to read about this? What are you saying that book says? No, what you say? No. I don't have what you think I have. Okay? That I don't have. I don't have the thing that you make it do this. I don't got that one. Go ahead and spend 200 and holler.
You get plus.
Yeah, holler at me.
Man.
Holler at me. All right? Now, what did you say that book was trying to say again, sir? It said what? What is it saying? You want the charts? What you want? I put it in there. The book is saying what?
Before we continue, I want to make sure that I'm being
what are you saying that this book is saying?
What do you think that I'm saying that
I don't know. The conversation is that African Americans are Hebrews, went from going Pakistan some damn way to North Africa, to West Africa, and ended up in a slave trade. That's the conversation. And I'm joking when I say Pakistan. I'm just being funny. But you know what the conversation is, bro. You see the title? Stay right there, yo.
I know what the title of the video is, but we're talking about different topics within the.
No, we're not. We're talking about the same topic. I'm hoping the topic will help us progress to your point, though, bro. Come on, man. You can't play this game. How long you keep saying I ain't talking about the topic? Hour one, you was like, well, hold on. I was talking about the 70 thing. Okay, bet. Now we're in hour two. What are you talking about?
We moved on from different things.
We never moved on for the conversation.
Hold up.
Come on, yo. This is only fair and par for the course. This book ain't talking about what you saying, bro.
Man, this is hilarious.
How is it hilarious? The book that you claim that's damn near 100 years old, 100 and something years old, ain't saying what you're saying, yo. Why did you bring it?
What you mean it ain't saying what I was saying?
It ain't saying what you're saying. It ain't saying on the thing.
It says they migrated along the coast of the Mediterranean until they got to Guinea. I didn't make that up. That's in the book right there. We pulled it up. I read it in front of everybody. So what are you talking about, bro? And second, I haven't been talking the whole time. I've been on here about an hour and a half. I ain't been talking.
You've been talking the whole time.
Garfield, before either of us leave, we got to bring up the Portuguese Jews.
All right, hold on. Before 1 second, guys. 1 second, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Hold on. Let Ung finish doing what he's doing, please. Out of respect, let Ung finish doing what he's doing.
Look, I got all the sources. We can read it. We can read the Jewish migration in West Africa. Go ahead, Garfield.
By the way, this is wrong. Jewish traders, the Radhanites. I found out that is a word in India that is similar to the word Mali, and people always put near the books that the Radhanites was in West Africa. That's not true. They actually was in India. But the word Mali is a word in India too, and it makes sense because the Persians was right there. It wouldn't make sense for Persians to come to West Africa. It don't make no sense.
So those Radhanite Jews, that was
they were in India, not in West Africa.
No matter what y'all say, no matter what divine suspects say, yo, there's no robust historical archaeological evidence of a large-scale migration of Hebrew Jews to West Africa, man. Senegal, Mali, Nigeria, etc.
I just showed y'all the population numbers. It was less than probably 500.
Limited contact, bro. We're gonna stop doing this, yo. Now, does anacalyptics prove a Hebrew migration to West Africa? Go ahead and read that, Garfield.
Anacalypsis was written in 1836, blending esoteric interpretations and broad religious speculation. It relies heavily on secondary European interpretations without primary evidence or archaeological verification. Modern scholars regard it as part of 19th century pseudo-historical literature.
Yeah, we had the summary of tables right here. The region, we got North Africa, Carthage.
At least he spelled the words right in the book, though. That's why when he pulled up Anacalypsis, I started laughing. I used to listen. That used to be my book back in the days, by the way, too.
Oh yeah,
that was my book back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I used to use that book. I have no shame in him using the book.
I got a quick question.
So hold on, no. North Africa, Carthage, Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria. Extent of evidence: archaeological, historical texts, genetic studies. Okay, East Africa, Beta Israel, Ethiopia, oral tradition, historical chronologies, genetic studies. West Africa, limited trading interaction, no permanent community. Okay, no archaeological historical evidence for Hebrew migration. Bro. Anacalyptic does not prove that the Hebrews migrated to West Africa. While it speculates of Jewish connections to Africa, it lacks historical rigor, keyword rigor, and archaeological bias demanded by modern scholarship. Instead, archaeological and historical evidence confirms significant Jewish migration to Northeast Africa, but not West Africa as indigenous communities, bro. Leave me the hell alone. Go get Divine Suspect as he scams the fake, quote unquote, fake silver pendants that are prayer pendants that's going to help African Americans that claim to be ancestors coming from Africa.
Us all day, bro. He's been using on us all day.
Scamming all day long. Who is next to verify that West Africans come from, at least a contingent did, all the way to West Africa?
No. We back in 70 AD. We're moving from 70 AD.
Because I got too many sources that says otherwise. Y'all haven't presented anything but y'all beliefs.
What was the ruling on the first source I brought out that talked about them leaving during the time
failure
of AD?
Epic failure.
Oh, that you found the claim. You found the claim. You did find a claim.
Right.
Now we need to prove the claim.
Yeah, I can find a
hold
claim
on
back in the 60s.
He asked answer the question. Let me answer the question.
Okay, that's fair. Can we agree?
I said about the source was that we could not collaborate the source. There was no documentation that the source got it from. It's just some white boys writing some shit. It's as simple as that. The same way they act like the Egyptians was white people. They just was writing it. They didn't have archaeological stuff to verify it. So your source show that it cannot be corroborated or verified.
Okay.
And I can go further back in history and find a source where they are calling Africans or black people monsters racist. Does that mean that our people was monsters and look like monsters?
Mean, that's
and they depicted them. No. It's a claim. It's a claim. It's a claim.
Okay,
it's a claim, bro.
We got customs and other things to back up what.
That's all I'm saying. Your source was a claim.
Just calling them a monster, that don't prove nothing. If you got
your source was a claim. I'm trying to get you to understand your source was a claim, bro.
Is there any the evidence that y'all are asking for? Is there anybody like what his ChatGPT prompt just said? It said, can you pull that up again?
All right, what you got, bro? I know you love to read. I can tell. What you want? We got another source in there. You don't want to look at that?
I want to go back to that prompt real quick, the ChatGPT that you had pulled up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just the very end of it.
Okay, Garfield, you got to put it up there. Where instead, archaeological historical evidence confirms significant Jewish migration to Northeast Africa. That's what you want to talk about?
Can you pull it up so I can see it again?
I could. Garfield would have to do.
Oh
it.
yeah. I'm sorry. Pretty much. Okay, without pulling it up.
Okay.
I don't know if you gonna pull it up.
And the
all
conclusion?
the boxes that y'all are asking to be checked, is there any group of people on this planet that can check all those boxes in the same exact way that y'all are asking us to check the boxes?
Of course.
Yep. The African American people who wrote for themselves right here in America. You want to go there?
Hey, hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. Hold on, Robon. This is the book I was telling you about that from at the museum. Actually, I have the PDF. Somebody found it. This is the Arabic medieval inscriptions from the Republic of Mali, the Epigraphic Chronicles, Songhai Tuareg History.
Can you send it?
Came out in 1970, over 50 years ago. It talks about the West African history from the actual residents that lived there, not the Arabic sources. This is the primary sources from, and some of this information contradicts Tazara, what we read in the Arabic sources. So who should we rock with? Should we rock with the native people? Or should we rock with what the Arabs wrote?
Well, that's the thing with sources. Sources will always, the sources aren't going to be uniform and always say the same thing. We can get a source that says something here, like how 93 pulled out.
All right.
Wow.
And we,
All right.
and we
You know what
pull it
Unk
out.
said? You know
And
what
we pull
Unk?
it-
All right, hold on. You remember what Unk source said, that the Europeans come and interpret stuff based off of the Christians? It's just like with the one West. I don't know if you one West Tazara, but one Westers believe that Native Americans are Israelites.
Yeah.
And what they do is Europeans used to come and redo their oral traditions and write it down with a mixture of the Bible tradition of Noah's story. So you would think that the Indians are telling the same story about the flood. Oh, we got a flood story in the Native American. No, it was Europeans that come. So the source that you have is saying, when Unk put it in AI chat, GPT, it's saying that Europeans are reinterpreting stories to fit their paradigm. So that's why you have to take the indigenous sources more, or the primary sources of what the indigenous people say themselves, and take that into consideration more than what outsiders are saying. That's all I'm saying. But this book here is powerful. I'm gonna send it to Rob on right now too. All right, I've been having it in my inbox to send it out. But this is a powerful book. Powerful, very powerful. Go ahead.
Hey man,
Let me know when we play that divine clip. Here we go. Here you go. Divine suspect.
Oh man, yeah.
Here you go. Being suspect again. Here we go.
Make a post about me selling the Silver Scrolls, saying that I'm scamming the community because I'm teaching African Americans that they're ancient Hebrews. Now, you know how ridiculous that sounds? I've never taught anybody that they're an ancient Hebrew. How can you be an ancient Hebrew? All the ancient Hebrews are dead. The word Ivri and the word Hebrew is only mentioned in the literature of the Tanakh. It's not mentioned outside of it. So it is the insider, or it is the protagonists, authors of the text, that is using a term to describe something that was mostly internal within the community, and to those who were close-knit to the community that understood that these Hebrews are those who crossed over. You know, those coming from the Tigris-Euphrates River and crossing over into the Levant area, what we call the Levantine region, and then from there coming into Kemet, Egypt, and Misraim, right? So Hebrews were known to be those who descended from the one who had crossed over, or those who have crossed over. So this is only going to be in the telling of the narrative of these people. So this is going to be a term that is near and dear to them, that they use in the literary narrative in which they're depicting their ancestry and their patriarch who began their people, who covenant with Yah. And that's why you will only find it there. So for me to tell somebody that they're ancient, first of all, ancient denotes somebody that is much older, somebody that goes back into antiquity and before antiquity. Nobody alive today is an ancient Hebrew. I never make that claim. Are there people who descend from what we call Black Jews, which we have documentation for in West and Central Africa? Yes. Are there people whose ancestry may be indigenously African, from the continent of African, that then were mixed in with Black Jews in West and Central Africa, and or mixed in the intra-continental slave trade between the northern, what we call North America, and Central and South America? And we had these breeding farms or breeding posts in which fertile women were selected, and they were bred with fertile men, and they create and generated a whole host of descendants who they could not father and could barely mother. And amongst them were the various indigenous tribes and the Black Jews. Yes. We also have what's called crypto Jews. These crypto Jews were Jews by descendancy and Jews in regards to their internal practices, but externally, they practiced the religion of the area in which they lived, whether that was Mohammedanism, which it was called in the 1800s, or Islam, or whether that's the traditional African religious systems. So what I teach is that we are a mixture of all these things. This is why you'll see when I talk about reconstruction, ancient pre-Israelite culture, we don't reconstruct it from the Talmud, the rabbis, and the sages, of the I would say of the post Grecian captivity era, but we do it going in reverse from our experiences here, experiences West and Central Africa, and from West and Central Africa all the way back to Northeastern Africa. That's how we do it. And along
this nigga scamming,
yo.
By the way, hold on a second. Before we do that, let's decipher something carefully, right?
Yes.
Remember, he says that he is very specific. You see, you guys not deep into it like I am. When he talks about the 2nd century Greek era, he's talking about the Pharisaic rabbinical Jews, right?
Yeah.
They're the reason why we know the Torah today. So he's saying that the crypto Jews and all those traditions, but remember, if you don't know, Garfield knows. Crypto Jews who are real Jews, how are they real Jews? Because they follow the system that he said you shouldn't follow. So how is he saying, yo, he can't have this conversation with somebody like me because he's going to look stupid. We don't know Judaism. Is the only reason we know Judaism is because of the Ashkenazi, the Sephardic, the crypto, and all those people that came into the Caribbean or into the Western world who were running from persecution. And those people followed rabbinical or Orthodox Judaism. So you believe in the New Testament, so you couldn't be following what the people follow. Jews don't follow the New Testament unless you converted and believe that Jesus was actually the
converso. You're a Jewish converso.
Let me ask you a question, Garfield, or the panel, right? So, if the majority of Africans went to South America, and the little bit of Africans came to the United States, and you United States Negroes made this shit up in the 1800s, why we don't see this shit in Latin America, Garfield? Can you break that down to me, brother? Or anybody else up here?
You mean in Brazil, right? In Brazil, correct?
You might be onto something with the wider thing, man. You said the wider stuff earlier. I don't know if you want to go into that with what Robon just asked.
Because this is where it gets crazy at. We can clearly identify the Jews in Suriname. We clearly know who they are. They are enslaving Africans there. We clearly see the Maroons and the 6 tribes of the Suriname dudes, and they describing them as white people, bro. What if the majority of these Africans went there and we see all of their culture, they got Atlantis stories, burying the dead, ain't none of them calling on Yahweh, son? How are you saying this stuff? I just want to know. Could y'all break that down to me?
Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen.
He says the Israelites. Is there an echo?
Hold on. Somebody have their mic. GD Capone as usual. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I would just say that Deuteronomy, one of the curses is that the Israelites will worship strange gods and do other things not related to God. So, I mean, that's
no. Because you said,
bro, I got you, bro. I'm add on to you right now. Let me add on to you right now. Hold on,
go ahead.
We go there. Look at this right here on the screen, right? This slide is called the Maroon Communities. Look at this: Brazil-Africa relations, historical dimensions, and contemporary engagement from the 1960s to the present. But what is this about, though? This is about 5,000 Maroon communities. They're celebrating and recognizing them because what happened is a lot of the people in Brazil, that's where most of the slaves went, right? In South America. And they ran off. So they ended up having over 5,000 Maroon communities in Brazil alone. And what happened, family, if these people were Israelites and they knew they were Israelites, when they ran off, they would be practicing that tradition. These people, you know what they're practicing? Orishas. They're practicing the Yoruba culture. They're practicing different things that have to do with African so-called systems or spiritual systems. Why aren't they practicing the Israelite religion? Because they have no idea what it is. They don't know about. Look at this guy coming off mic again with his echo ass.
Well, I will respond. The quick answer.
Let me finish. And what happened is, family, there is always people trying to make excuses for why you're not an Israelite. Tazara, you've never made an argument to say why you're not an Israelite. You know why? Because you believe you are, and nobody's going to change your mind. But when you're researching, this is why your research, you could bring whatever you want and we could beat it up because you don't look at both sides. You don't make common sense.
Both sides. Y'all think we just have tunnel vision and don't look at nothing else? Part of it also, it's not just the a physical, tangible thing. It's also a spiritual side.
Okay, we're not gonna do that.
I mean,
That's not what
Can we
we're
get
doing.
can we get to the
that's the
question that
thing,
I asked, bro?
This man
'Cause I'm a
says
Buddhist
spiritual.
monk.
Can you
I'm a
get to that
Buddhist
question
monk.
Yo,
I'm a
Garfield,
Buddhist monk.
go back to the. You got
I
Lead
mean,
to the
I
rainbow giraffe
don't got a problem
has
in
entered
believing
the
God in the
building.
Bible.
Go back, Garfield.
The what kind of
The book
giraffe?
with the dude that you interviewed with the Judaism thing. Go back to that.
Oh, Solar
Leads be
Judaism.
upon
Okay,
him.
gotcha.
But real quick, let me
Stop.
just say, because I'm
Hold
about
on, brother. We gonna let you cook. Go one more. What that say right there? Stop.
Stop.
All right, which one is that? All right,
Souls
that's
of
that.
Judaism.
Go to the next one.
Solar
Go to the
Judaism.
next one. Stop right there. What that say? Read that.
After Portugal and Spain joined under a single monarch in 1580, many Jews and conversos fled first to the Netherlands, where they could openly practice their Judaism, and later to Dutch and British controlled areas in the New World, such as Curacao, Suriname, Jamaica, Barbados, which offered them varying degrees of religious and national freedom. Studies of rabbinic.
Yo, stop right there. Stop right there. These are the people that you claiming that were scattered at this specific time. These people knew who they were, carried the tradition on, and they not us. But keep reading.
In,
okay,
in
so
that,
this is where
especially, I could verify for you.
This is where you die.
No, this is where we gonna pump heads because you don't believe in the Bible, my brother, and that's fine.
Oh, you just lost
Now
the
the-
conversation.
Now
It's
the
over
truth
with.
come out. Now the truth come out.
Yeah, that's it, brother. Hey,
Let me
brother, I
finish
ain't
my
trying to
thought.
cut you off, yo, but in the scholarly conversation, as soon as you introduce the word belief, the conversation is actually over.
Let me
with, yo.
finish
This
my
is how
thought.
we work where I'm at, though.
Let me
There
finish
is
my
no
thought,
thought
James.
past you just believing.
Let me
Because I can,
finish my
because
thought.
I'm saying you got every right to believe it, but you can't tell us that African Americans or whatever the hell divine think they was
Hold up. Can I
and
finish
say,
my thought?
I believe it. That's not right, bro, for this
Okay,
conversation.
can I finish my thought? I was
We
responding
heard it. You
directly.
said you bumping heads.
Can I get like 15 seconds?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Finish that thought, man. I'm gonna
Please.
come right back.
All right, for sure. I appreciate it. Directly in response to this that we just read, my response is, and like I said, if you don't believe the Bible, that's fine. I'm not going to try to put a brother down because you don't believe. Like, that's not my believe what you want. But I'm saying my response to this would be the Bible says that the Israelites would worship strange gods and follow after other customs. So that is what my response to be, and that's why I would say we would bump heads on this and not be able to agree on what the conclusion of this source is saying.
Right, but hold on. Yeah, okay, brother. I'll let you get to 15 seconds. But this is not talking about that. This is talking about the scattered Jews that wound up in these different areas, right? These people were able to practice this stuff. They were able to. And when he gets to this next page, it gets worse. So these people know who they are. So I asked the original question of dealing with what is going on in Latin America. And when you got these black people who are African, who are writing, they're telling you what it is. They're telling you that they convert to Judaism to get manumission, bro. That's in that same book. All of it is there. These people are not hidden. They're not hiding their history. These are the people who are upright telling you who they are.
Hey, Robon, what I didn't copy from you, hold on, Tazara, is that at the end right here, Rabbi Fournier described to me one Afro-Jewish community in Brazil that had over 200,000 people who were converted. So what happened is, I always tell people this book, if you claim Judaism by what this book says, I can't argue with you. Because look what they did. Look what they did. The Sephardic Jews transformed their New World communities. What is the New World communities? The ones that my brother just read a while ago, right here. Curacao, Suriname, Jamaica, Barbados, Netherlands, British controlled areas in the New World. Those people fled to those areas and they were free, right? They didn't come over as slaves, but they were Jews. So now what happened is they brought with them their servants from Africa and slaves that they had. And in accordance with biblical law, what they did is they gave them what my brother Rob just talked about, manumission. And they were Jews. So they were Jews who were Africans. So you could claim Judaism based off of this, which is what they have.
Pull up, Garfield. Pull up the other book. Pull up the other book I gave you, the expansion of the Jews, right? And when you're talking about this area, right, that he's talking about, is showing you that even when they bury the dead, you can see Sankofa birds in a Sephardic Jewish goddamn cemetery, bro. And they're describing to you who these people are, bro.
Let me respond real quick. So real quick, what I would say is, you say that the slaves, they came over, they wasn't practicing Judaism. Well, one, that goes back to what I just said, that the prophecy says they will worship strange gods, follow after other customs, and 2, on top of that,
we're not doing
before they even got to West Africa, there are documents that say that they intermingled and lost the customs long before they even got there. So they would have been
No,
practicing.
not you,
They
not
picked
you.
up on the way there.
No, not you.
All right, I get it. Hold on, Garfield. We get what you're saying, bro, because that's what you was indoctrinated with, and you're trying to prove it. We understand where you.
I mean, it was written in records before I was even born.
I get it, but check it out, though, brother. Check it out. The point is, before those people got here, they're practicing the same culture that they was in West Africa and brought it here. There was no book when they came here. This is called intangible culture. They came here and recreated the same things that they were doing there. So you are saying that, well, while they was in West Africa doing Orishas and shit that's indigenous to that they was originally Jews and they lost it. They don't say that. Olodumare don't come from no motherfucking Abraham. So now the problem that we having with this is the Savior read something. You have a mythos. We don't believe in your mythos, bro. We don't. If we follow your mythos, that means that them people, Ham, Shem, and Jeff, are real people. Those people said that they lived to be 400 years old. No, we're not bearing witness to this. So what we bearing witness to? Hold on, brother.
He said, "I'm not bearing witness to this."
So what we bearing witness to is what our people said for themselves. And what I'm here to tell you, brother, you can go back all you want. The person who introduced that doctrine to us here in America is William Soundies Crowdy. Prior to this person, you do not have nobody teaching us this. Born in America. Listen, brother, I'm done now.
No, hold on.
I'm done right now.
Let him finish.
It was born in America. They all came from the black church. They were all Freemasons. They were all fucking Pan-Africanists, and they all used this shit to fight white supremacy. You dudes come around fucking 100-something years later, and then now I hate the Africans, and we this and we that, and these people never did that. William Soundies Crowdy had white people a part of his organization. He's a goddamn Hebrew, and he's teaching them that, yo, I don't know how he did it, but he was teaching them that Adam and all of them was black, and white people was like, yeah, okay. So like, this is what happened, bro. You got to deal with the actual history and separate it from the myth. If we're talking about our people and who we are, how do we know that? We got science. You don't like DNA, so we'll leave that alone. So then
I don't dislike DNA. Hold up. No.
Okay.
I'll let you finish.
Okay.
I'll let you finish.
All right. So you like DNA. So now we're talking about the intangible culture of the people that. I'm done now.
Okay. I thought you. Okay.
Yeah, the culture that the people. We didn't ask this question 15 years ago. Show us the nigga Brews getting off the boat. And I just asked you a question about Latin America, where the majority of them people is that, where is the nigga Brews shit getting off the boat? We don't got one revolt where a nigga calling on Yahweh. Niggas calling on Allah. Niggas calling on Jesus from the Congo. Niggas calling on Allah. How the fuck you telling me that they knew that they was Israelites in West Africa and
they was Israelites in the Congo in the 12th century?
And they forgot? How the fuck you forget? But you remember everything else? Come on, son. So you gotta show us, brother, this intangible culture of the nigga Brews coming off the boat. Because we got this name for you guys. You guys are made in America, so you are a nigga brew. That's what you are. You are angry Christians, bro. That's what you are.
Okay, now you said a lot. Let me break down my responses. One, let's see. So
I want to respond to that too.
Hold up. Let me respond first because I gotta hop off in a little bit. One, the thing about them.
Yeah, we're gonna run you off before you hop off.
I'm talking, all right?
Go ahead, that's all right. You dagger spot today, man. We're gonna make you dagger spot. Man.
All right. There's documents saying that over the generations, they slowly and gradually lost their customs. They didn't just forget one day, like, who am I? What happened? What? That's not what happened. It happened gradually over the generations as they traveled and intermingled with different African cultures. Two.
That's in the Bible?
No, he going back and forth.
I mean, none of y'all saying is in the Bible. Well, I gotta prove what I'm saying all the time.
No, you don't gotta prove nothing.
Let's keep a fair playing field. You feel me? You don't gotta do that.
Hey, yo, can I say something that's real fair?
I was just asking where that came from.
Can I finish?
I was just asking where did that come
I
from?
thought you breathed. You should have been finished.
Also, a lot of the adult males were slaughtered, and the children is the ones that retain the knowledge. So a lot of the adults were slaughtered. So the children could only remember the things
out of here, man.
Hold on 1 second. Tazara, are you finished, bro?
No, I'm not finished.
How the Hebrew gonna cut off another Hebrew? That ain't right, Israelite.
No, man.
That's man. But
I'm listening to Tazara. I'm trying to take notes, and all of a sudden I hear a different tone of voice. What the hell is going on?
Come on, bro. I've been sitting here waiting for a minute, bro.
Okay, look,
I'm gonna
hop off after, and they're gonna give you all the attention you want. All right, let me finish.
Hey, but you cannot interrupt unless you disagreeing with him, bro. Let the brother finish.
Are you apologizing, yo? Did you say that my company?
Oh, I'm sorry, I mistake your what you call him? What's the name of him? Bobby Blue Bland?
Lucille Parks, yo. That's my shoes.
I took him down, man. I'm not even gonna let him apologize. He's out of pocket. What is his name? Yo, these niggas ain't got no. They feel like they better than you because they're Israelites, yo. They dumb as fuck, bro. Crazy, yo.
Look,
go ahead, Tazara. Go ahead.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute and a half.
No, not a whole minute and a half, Tazara.
Tazara, don't call him no Tazara. He ain't that crazy.
Look, and let me
you get the yak at the end. You get the yak at the end when you crazy. He's Tazara.
I know we're not all gonna agree. Like you could bring out what y'all bring out, I bring out. We're not all gonna agree. You know what I mean? I'm just up here showing that there is stuff. We're not making stuff up. You know, we got stuff.
Tazara, do you believe that Jews, Israelites was in West Africa practicing Israelism though? Do you believe that?
Can you repeat that?
Do you believe that the folks that came on the slave ships were in West Africa practicing some form of Judaism?
I don't know how many, but I would say some were because we got documents. That's what I was going to get into.
Hold on. So you got documents of them doing that. So Raw so you mean to tell me Raw they're in West Africa and Fortune, they have what? Divine amnesia, as Fortune would say. So when they got off the boat, they forgot they were Jews?
Yeah, that's why I told you. I'll let you keep. Yeah, go ahead. Finish cooking, Taj. Finish.
Divine amnesia, that's actually biblical, as I've said.
Oh my God, I'm fucking done. I'm a Hebrew today, yo. I'm taking that shit. I'm cool. Go ahead, Tazara. You got it, bro. He got an answer for everything, yo. He got an answer for everything.
I mean, y'all don't gotta believe it, but it say that. And look, so two. Okay, what I said first is about they were losing the culture gradually as time went on. It didn't just happen, and it says it happened over the span of generations. And
how do you know that? If they lost their culture, how are you telling that story?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Where do you get that from?
Wow,
it's documented.
Where? That's what I'm asking.
Bible, nigga, Deuteronomy, nigga.
All right, okay, look.
Let him finish. Go ahead, Tazara. Give me 90 seconds, yo.
If y'all
messed up, yo. Y'all messed up, man. My man ain't gonna come back no more. He ain't gonna come back on my channel because of y'all, yo. Tazara, you see, I'm not the one interrupting you. You see that?
Tazara, go hide like Divine doing this channel, yo, and talk.
I'm talking about for African Americans. I'm talking about for African Americans. I'm not talking about that ancient Bible stuff. I'm talking about, because we talking about African Americans. Where does it say that they lost their ways or whatever from
Look, I'm saying that there's documentation saying that the Jews, the Israelites, as they migrated through Africa to West Africa, they lost the customs gradually over the generations.
How did they get it back? How did they get it back to bring it to America if they lost it?
Thank you.
What do you mean? How did they get it back to bring
it? They lost it as they traversed through Africa. They lost it. Then the slave trade come, yo.
I'm speaking about, when I say they lost it, I'm talking about as a whole. Of course, there's always going to be a remnant of people who have it still.
With what Torah, yo? Think about it. So you said they committed the whole daggone Bible to memory.
Let me kill this right now.
Black Jews in West Africa had the Torah and other records, but it was all burnt by the Muslims when they invaded.
What?
Look, you just made that's not true.
Yeah, go pull that up.
Hold on, guys. Hold on a
now.
second. Everybody stop. Everybody stop.
Right now. Can you share my
Everybody
screen?
mute up. Everybody mute up.
You share my screen?
Let Tazara talk. Let him just get his 90 seconds, yo. Because he's gonna say that we never made him talk. He never got to make his point. We not fair. So it is. He believes in the Bible. He believes the words of the Bible. We gonna allow.
Fair is where they sell pigs at.
90 seconds, bro. Give him 90 seconds, please. Go ahead, man. And
Hold
Mika, he's not making shit up. Cut it out.
Wait, hold on.
He's a true Dagger Squad member, yo. I swear, yo. You out of order, Mika.
You gotta put him on the Dagger Squad, yo. We need
he's Dagger Squad. He's family. He's family, man. He's
good,
definitely
somebody to beat up. Good.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen real quick just to address that last point.
All right, go ahead, because I did jump out the window. Go ahead, kill me. Go ahead.
That's so crazy, bro. That brother did not. That nigga didn't address not one thing I said, bro.
I know. Hey, I heard you. Hey, I'm gonna get back to that.
Interrupted him. That's why y'all out of pocket, man.
No, you gotta let him. You gotta do the Martin Bailey. Run to a position you can defend.
No, I'm gonna address what he said. That's what I really want to get to. But y'all said other stuff too, so I'm gonna just pull that up just to show. Give me a second.
I can't wait for GD and Capone's turn, man, because he got to prove that 70 AD. He think he's trying to come back to talk about something else. We got to prove that 70 AD. We ain't moving from that point. You think I'm stupid? You're laughing. We ain't stupid, bro. We ain't stupid. We got memory. We old, but we got memory over here, buddy. We got memory. We got something called memory right here.
Can you show my screen?
Go ahead, yo. We trying to figure you out.
Yo, why you don't get Yabasop to come over here so I can beat his ass up?
Yabasop probably listening right now.
Can you show my screen?
Well, share his screen so he can talk about the Torah that got burned up by Africans. Go ahead. They better say Africans.
This is from Jewish Virtual Library website.
I didn't say by Africans. I said
what? That's
all
what
right,
we talk. No. They was Africans though. They had the Torah. Go ahead.
Let me just read this real quick, and I'm gonna finish saying what I was gonna say to the other brother. The decline of Jewish communities of West Africa can be traced to the arrival of Muslim invaders in the 14th and 15th centuries. North and West African Jews banded with other local communities of Berbers, Christians, and Greeks to ward off the invaders, but eventually succumbed. Many were forced to convert to Islam, sold into slavery, or simply massacred. In the face of this persecution, written traditions such as the Torah were lost. And then it goes on to talk about the Igbo having no.
Everybody stop. No, everybody stop. Now, my brother, he says right here, many were forced to convert to Islam, sold into slavery, or simply massacred. What is it talking about?
Islamic slavery.
Because I think you think this is talking about the transatlantic slave trade.
No, that's talking about
I know. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Look, I didn't bring this up to talk about the transatlantic slave trade. I brought this up to show that the Torah was in West Africa, and like I said, it got destroyed. Their records got destroyed. That's why I brought this up.
Show me the Torah. Show me that. Where is that Torah? Where is it at? Where? Show me.
It's not there.
What do you mean? Give me a source for that. Give me a source. Give me a source, because everything that they found in Timbuktu, there was no Torah. There's Hebraic writings, but there's no Torah. Bro,
okay, so look, just so we can move on. If you're saying that this information is inaccurate, just say that. I'm not even going to dispute it.
I'm not saying it's inaccurate because it doesn't have a source to back it up. It's just a presentation that they're writing. It says right here, in the face of this persecution, written traditions such as the Torah were lost. But lost where? Was it lost in North Africa, or was it lost in West African communities?
No, Garfield, give him that. Garfield, listen, he's right. Give him that. Because what that's talking about, no, hold on. When you looking at them Arabic sources,
book trade. Mm-hmm.
Not even the book trade. When you looking at it, this is talking about the 14th century. Now we in a time frame, right?
Right, Sephardi Jews coming in and everything. Mm-hmm.
Right, so these dudes is doing trade there. When we read the Arabic sources, it says that the Jews were merchants and they were living outside, right? Mm-hmm. They would build their communities outside of the main, I'll call it compound for now, out of the kingdom or whatever you want to call it, right? Now, something happens with Sunni Ali, and this goes back to Tuat, right? That's T-O-U-T in North Africa, right? So this is where this trade is coming from. There are Jews there in North Africa transversing to West Africa. How do we know this? They draw the fucking map, bro. And when we look at who these people are and they describe them in their family, they not us. They not Africans. They not us. So what they saying is correct. Those people killed one of the sons. Killed one of the sons.
Right here. I'm going to put it on the screen. Put it on
He
screen right
killed
now.
he killed one of the sons of Sunni Ali, and they expelled all of them niggas up out of there, son. And they burnt that Tuat shit to the ground. So that did happen. So, but the problem that you having, brother, is these people are not us.
Right here. See this map right here, bro? This map right here. That's what he talking about. But go ahead, bro.
No, who wrote the thing he got on the screen though? He just throw some shit.
Oh, that's
up
just
there,
that
right?
virtual
The Majorcan Jews from the Balearic Islands.
Yeah.
The who?
The Majorcan Jews,
bro.
From the. This is where the map. You remember the map with what is it? Mansa Musa at the bottom? See him at the bottom right here.
No. I'm saying that page. Where's that page?
Yeah, that come from the virtual.
Oh, that's from the
library.
Jewish Virtual Library, yo. Jewish Virtual Library, where he's reading from. I don't have a problem with the source. I don't have a problem with the source.
We ain't got a problem with that.
No, I'm
There's
trying
no
to
problem.
find out where it was from. I would like to, understand.
Oh, you got to look up Jewish virtual
I'll put it
library.
in the back.
that
I'll put it in the back.
Yeah, that's what he was reading, yo.
Let me say this to Brother Rawborn, right? So we know that they went into Taout and they killed the people, right? So now in Timbuktu, there was an order given where they wanted to do like a what they call it, like a fatwa against all the Jews if they don't convert.
Because they killed his son.
But the Qadi of Timbuktu, the Qadi is like a mayor, right? Of Timbuktu. Mahmoud, it's a judge, I'm sorry. Qadi is like a judge. Mahmoud B. Umar said, no, we're going to disregard that law. And he allowed the Jews. There was something called the Pact of, what is it called? The Pact of Umar? Where he said, what do you call it? Kill all the Jews or whatever? Because of what they did.
And then they made them niggas pay that. What's the name of that shit? Dama, DACA, whatever that shit is. They got
the demi status.
Yeah, they got to pay all of that shit.
But in Timbuktu, though, they allowed them to stay. And then the Sephardic Jews came in and built a town in Tinderma in 1496. They left out of Portugal or Spain and went to Tinderma and built it up. It was destroyed in 1588, but they allowed them to stay in Tinderma and they allowed them to stay in Mali. So the Jews, we know those Jews, we don't disagree with you on that, Tazara, but those are not your people.
Hold up. Why are you bringing this out? Just so
because you're talking about Jews, in the West Africa practicing Judaism, and you're trying to say that those Jews, you're trying to say that in Torah, which my brother he concede that point, but those Jews didn't go to get on the slave ships.
Yeah, are they Africans though? Was those Jews African?
No, they're not African.
So why would you do that to us?
No, hold up.
Because it's
why would you do that?
It's called the scam.
Why would you add to the divine suspect scam, brother?
Wait, hold on. Prove that they're not African first.
Exactly. That's what I'm about to say.
Because we have the records in Mali.
Let me hold on.
Yeah, that's a good question. No, you already said it. We don't gotta respond. You say prove that they're not Africans.
No,
go ahead,
Rob.
Hey,
pull up the maker of them. Pull up.
Oh no. We want to prove they're not African. We heard
we
you.
gonna pull up the maker of the fucking map.
Yeah, we don't gotta do that. You ask the question. You say prove they're not Africans.
No,
we don't want to hear no more after that. It's
say.
our turn now. Nope.
Look,
you
up.
said prove they're not African. Don't add them to it because you're flim-flamming now.
Y'all are saying that these people.
You are flim-flamming. Let us prove that they're not African. Then you can go on. Relax, bro. This is enjoyable. Come on, man. Go ahead, go pull that up. Right, we don't want to hear you say nothing else for that. Somebody yelled to the top of their lungs. They say, prove they're not Africans. So let's do that.
I didn't say that.
The crust of the conversation. You backing down off of it?
No, GD and Capone said that. GD and Capone.
Yeah, but he agreed with it because he brought the source. Why would he bring us the source knowing they're not Africans?
Hold on a second. Hey, Tazara, are you done talking about from the Jewish Virtual Library?
Why would he use something from the Jewish library when he know that community wasn't African?
You don't believe in those Jews, but those Jews have sources that they like. They use everybody.
You scam us?
I was just gonna say that.
No.
Look, history is history. But look,
wait a minute, bro.
People.
Hazaya. I mean, how you say your name, Hazaga? Look,
Hazara.
Hezekiah. Listen,
Tazariak's son.
Okay, bro. Are you trying to say?
Man. I never met him. Never talked to him.
No. Come on, bro. This man you talking seriously, yo. Are you trying to tell us? Hold on. That the source you brought.
I'm trying to tell you.
Finish my point.
Let me talk.
Okay, well, let me finish. I need to organize it in my mind to make sure you're not scamming. I want to make sure you're not scamming. Are you saying that the document you just brought from the Jewish library is talking about a community that's Jewish. Now, are they African? You know what I'm saying? Or are they not? That's a direct question. Don't run me around the mulberry bush. What are you saying? Go ahead.
Okay, can we go? Can I share my screen again? I'm gonna
Oh,
answer
hell
you directly
no.
right now. I'm gonna answer you directly right now with a yes or no.
No, it ain't gotta be yes or no. You can explain it, bro. Just answer
Yo,
the question.
every source he bring out, yo, he got to run for another source. You know?
No, I'm going back to the same source. It's the same source.
93, you talk to him. I'm gonna mute up. You talk to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute up. So I just asked the question.
Yo,
That's all right.
Look,
Just say I don't want to answer it, Unc. Say, Unc, oh man, I don't want to answer that. Just say that.
The answer is yes, and I'm about to show you why it's yes.
Oh, you saying they are indigenous Africans.
Now, can I show you why I'm saying yes?
Go ahead. I appreciate it. Yes, you can.
Source?
I just want to hear the answer first, and then I want to make sure your source collaborates your answer. Go ahead.
Which people are you talking about?
What does this say right here at the top?
All right, where you at? Where you at?
What does that say right here?
Another theory? That's that word? Not a scientific theory. Where at, bro?
Why is my screen not going up?
It is. Yo, it said another theory maintains the Jewish travelers with trade caravans from Northeast Africa moved through West. It said another theory, bro.
Right here.
Oh yeah, you better get that off that joint. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, you better bring up that Negro.
What's that say right here?
Shit, nigga, bring that shit. Please bring it.
We see it. Nigeria, virtual.
So
Jews.
that's
You in trouble now. You right. You writing raw bone wheelhouse now. Oh man.
You better
that answers the question.
Be mad with himself.
That's the answer, yo. You showed me a sub hidden. That's the answer.
What is the answer?
He said it. He showed us. Go ahead. You right.
The title of the page is Nigeria Virtual Jewish Tour.
Okay, so you saying
that's
why
talking about white people?
That's not.
They be talking about Nigeria,
thing, man.
That's a cut. That's what we call a cut.
Cut.
Everything we just read.
Check this out, bro. I'm a
Hold on. Leave it on the screen. Hold on.
I want to talk about that, Garfield.
Stop. Everybody stop.
Everybody free.
You brought this up, Tazara, to say what, brother? In the 9th century. What about Eldad the Danite? What about it, bro?
Oh,
man.
I'm not breaking down. No. Hey, look.
Yeah.
Look.
Did you read that? Did you read just as it exists a number of theories?
I'm trying to see the point he's trying to make. What are you trying
It's
to
right here. It say it. It says a theory, yo. And not a scientific theory. It's right here.
Hold on. What are you saying? What are you saying, Tazara, regarding this?
He said it.
Can I talk for 90 seconds uninterrupted?
Go ahead, brother. It's all yours, brother. Don't pay no mind. He's trying to blow you off.
I hope so. Because it's a whole lot I wanted to say that I didn't get to say, but I'm gonna have to just not be able to say it. But
go ahead.
I know it's not out of disrespect. I know it's just a lot of people on the panel. You know what I mean? And that's what happens when it's a lot of people.
They whack, yo. Next time it's just gonna be me and you, bro.
I want you to read that line right there. I shut up and leave you alone. If you don't move that screen, don't move. You just move the screen. See?
I don't know these guys. I don't know them.
I say, don't move that screen when you move that screen.
It's all love, bro.
Yo, you know what's crazy about this conversation, yo?
Let me.
Yeah, it's another theory, just like evolution.
Nobody in 20 years, yo. This shit got him all fired up, yo.
I know this is favorite spot right here, yo.
My nigga, yo, he fired up
this is favorite shit right here, yo.
Some fresh food on the table.
Now, yo, you moved the daggone screen. I don't appreciate you for that, bro. I thought you were gonna read that line.
Right here. This theory about the trade routes, I'm not talking about that. This right here that I highlighted.
That ain't what I'm talking about. It was another line you moved on purpose.
Please, let him finish, please.
He moved it though on purpose, man. I can't stand the moving screen technique.
Go ahead,
He knew I saw it too. That's not fair, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
The Holy Ghost came and moved that. That's all right.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay, look, just the part right here about the theories, I didn't appeal to none of that. The part right here about the decline of Jewish communities.
I wasn't talking about that. You know what I'm talking about because you moved it.
All right, hold on. When it says Muslim Jewish communities of West Africa, what communities is it talking about?
Man, look. All right, look. Man.
Do not say Igbos, bro.
No.
He moved that line to talk about the Igbos.
Hold up, man. Hold up, guys. No comments. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he moved it off the Igbo thing on purpose, though, Garfield.
That's fine. When he says the decline of the Jewish communities of West Africa, what are the Jewish communities of West Africa
let me talk. Man, I pray to God. I pray to nobody interrupt me, man. Please.
Pray to
Look.
Yeah, just slide up a little bit, y'all. Won't say nothing. If you slide it past that, I won't say nothing. Slide it up or down.
Okay,
slide it down.
Look, I'll put it back to where you want it. Where you want it at? Right here.
No.
The other way, the other direction.
Show the decline. Show the decline. We want to see the decline.
Yes, this is all I brought this up for, man. This isn't a theory. This is a fact.
Talking about the Igbo, and you purposely made that shit move, yo.
The Torah being destroyed and all that. That's all I brought this up for.
No, but it was a piece that it talked about the Igbos, yo.
No.
The Igbo stuff is in that paragraph. I just read it. I already seen.
No, I wanted dumb shit. He did it on purpose.
Look.
So what are the communities?
Look.
It just
let
did
me
it.
say what I was gonna say.
The Igbo
this is what happens. Y'all say stuff and I try to address it, then somebody else say 4 or 5 more other things, and I try to address it. I never get to address nothing because everything keeps flipping around and changing, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like, you didn't get it. You guilty of it. You guilty of it too, though, brother.
I'm not. Everything I say is in response to one of y'all. Everything I say is in response to one of y'all. I don't never get to finish the thought.
Let him get it out. Let him get it out, please. Please let him get it out. Get it out. Go ahead, brother. No, nobody. Everybody on mute. Let him eat like Pharaoh. Let him eat like young Pharaoh, yo. Let him eat like young Pharaoh, yo. Come on, man. Let him eat like young Pharaoh. Come on. Let me eat.
I know it's all love.
Brother, eat, man.
I brought this out. I'm gonna just address this, but what y'all said in response to this, and then I'm gonna respond to what I think Rob Bourne said earlier about the them not practicing whatever when they came off the slave ships. So first, I brought this out to show the Torah was in West Africa and they got destroyed. Y'all brought out something else talking about who y'all believe the Jews were that brought that Torah there. You would have to prove that 100% beyond a reasonable doubt that that's the only way the Torah got there, that it wasn't there before. That's what my response to that would be. Like, you would have to prove that those people are the only Jews that came there. You have to prove that. On top of that, what they look like, because we got documents from the 7th century Egypt saying that the Jews, the Nubians, Ethiopians cannot be distinguished from one another. They all look like black Africans. So leaving that and going back to what I was saying at first, the Israelites, they lost their customs over the generations. It wasn't an instantaneous thing that happened within a generation or within a 20-year, 30-year time period. It happened over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. 2.
Where's the records of that?
Mute up. No, let him finish. Please let him finish.
Pull that up. I could pull that up if you. I could pull.
No.
You consider a record.
No, Kyle, no. Please let him finish.
Y'all letting him ride, man. Erie's not a real person, so there is no connection there.
Listen, we normally don't get any Israelite to come on here. They scared.
Yeah, we bananas.
But we gotta appreciate the bro for coming on.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, come on, like.
And Gozy 93 lied on you, man. He said you was the Egyptian maniac. He lied. He did.
Let the nigga brew talk.
Number two.
Lied on him.
Number 2, we got documents showing that black Jews from West Africa were transported to America as slaves. So even if you say, oh, why they weren't practicing it when they got here, the fact that they were Jews and they were taken on slave ships to America, that overrides that they weren't practicing it, because you know who was on those slave ships. Just because people couldn't document it for whatever reason.
Title of this article right here, bro.
All right, hold on. Stop, y'all. Tazara, stop for 1 second. 1 second. You said Jews. We know Jews were being transported. Black Jews were being transported. How do you know the people who are transported are black Jews?
Correct.
You want me to pull it up?
No. How do you know that?
Because it says they were black, and then it.
Where does it say that?
You want me to pull it up?
That the Jews were black and they were on slave ships?
I'm talking about specifically from West Africa.
No,
we got records showing that it was a common thing for black Jews from the Kingdom of Wida to be transported from there.
I got you. What is
the name of that article?
No. I got you. The first point I want you to prove. Stop, Unc. You said that there's a description from the 7th century of Egyptians, Nubians, and Jews being black. What is your source?
That's that Herodotus bullshit, man. Get out of here. We ain't trying to hear that, man.
No, it's not Herodotus. It's not.
No, it's not Herodotus. I know what it is. Go ahead and tell us what it is, brother.
Pull it up, Garfield. You know what it is.
No. Tell me what it is.
Bro, let's keep him right here.
No, I got three things I want him to prove. I want him to prove that point.
I just wanted to know the name of this article right here.
The blacks that were Jews that went on the slave ships. We need to see that.
Okay. What you want to see first? Because I got like 10 minutes. What you want to see first?
Can I just know the name of that article before you take it off?
Yeah, we want to see that. We want to see that Kingdom of Wida, bro. So that Kingdom of Wida.
We already know about that. That's simple. That's easy.
No, but this is what he said though.
Nigerian,
Jewish something.
What's the name of that, please, yo?
Nigerian, Jewish, some shit.
The Nigerian virtual library tour.
No,
I put it in the back chat.
it's not the Nigerian. That's the
No,
Jewish virtual. It's the
I put the
Jewish
link.
virtual. It's the Jewish virtual library. He's looking up Nigerian Jews. I know this page front and back. That's why
Thank you, bro.
Erie is not a real person, so that kills everything off the top. So you can also
Okay,
go
I
to
didn't
the.
look.
You can go to the
You attacking the
Ghanaian
straw
one.
man, bro.
This is gonna tell you about.
Hold on, Kyle. Don't kill him yet. Don't kill him. Don't kill him yet. Somebody's got to get a kill off of him, man. We've been killing him all day, man. Come on,
Okay.
man. Adrian done killed him. Obi done killed him. Nani
Can't get a word out. They can't get a word out, yo.
Now Ngozi about to murder him. So, yo, bro, let's bring out one source first. The first source you want to bring out is the West Africans, whatever. Then I want you to bring out the source about the Egyptians, Nubians, and them being Jews. I want you to bring that up.
Just to respond to what that last person was saying, you attacking a straw man, bro. I brought this out to show that the Torah was in West Africa. I didn't appeal to
that. Go ahead. Prove this stuff.
Just for the record.
Where's 93 at?
And while he get his source, Garfield, pull up that Hebrew Igbo
Where
site.
is
I got it right here. I got it right here.
Hey, Garfield, where is 93? He said Ngozi was an Egyptomaniac. Where is he? I'm not. He started that shit. I'm gonna finish that shit. I'm not listening to y'all. I'm on everybody's head that played that divine suspect nonsense. I'm not doing it, and I'm not trying to hear it. He said that we was Egyptomaniacs, and we said that Egyptians was African Americans. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. Come on, bro.
Let Tazara prove it.
Okay, bro, but it was cool when niggas was running their mouth like that, though. Remember? An hour ago, it was cool.
Who said it was cool though?
93 said that wild ass shit when he talked shit about the shoes, bro.
We gonna wait. Wait a minute. We gonna.
Why we gotta wait? Why is it always wait when niggas talk shit about me? Wait. That's bullshit. The bullshit divine is bullshit. The bullshit fake nigga that jumped on the post is bullshit. And 93 argued me for 2 hours, not even knowing the goddamn subject. That was bullshit. I ain't the motherfucking mark around here, dog. Pick somebody else.
Yo, I'm dying over here.
Yeah, 93. Who was the Egyptomaniacs, bro? And Gozy me, we was what? And we said what, bro? Say it again, bro. I'm listening.
93 ain't mean that, man. Come on, man.
And I'm not angry. I'm simply saying everybody knock it off. That's some bullshit. Divine suspect is a scammer. We 3 hours, 5 hours in now, and nobody's been able to verify that nonsense. It shouldn't take that long.
Tazara, you ready, bro?
Damn, he's still going.
Pulling it up.
And I ain't never stopping.
Oh boy.
The hell I look like letting somebody badmouth my business, bro. Get out of here with that. The fake Hebrew guy, the fake divine, they all badmouth my damn business while they selling fake damn spiritual pendants to liberate black people. Get the hell out of here with that. Mushrooms and red algae to stop COVID-19 and sage.
Hey, Robon, you know the dude that do this website? I got him in the back pocket now, man. He could come on whenever we want. I should have told him we was live.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? All right. Where you at? All right, let's make that bigger, please, so everybody could read it. Yo, 93. You up 93? I'm not even responding to this.
And he know what he talking. Yeah, because he talking that shit knowing he was wrong.
93. Go ahead, 93. The French source from the 1700s say what? What it says?
Look, I got the link to the source for time's sake. I'm gonna just read it. I posted this on my channel. I'm gonna just read it from here, but I'm gonna show y'all the source so y'all can go pull it up if you want, just so you know I ain't lying and flim-flamming, you know. But look, it says the book is in French. This is the page from the book right here. It's actually cut off, but it says the blacks of Judah are the best and most expensive need. Hold up, it's still cut off. Damn. All right, here we go. I don't know how well y'all can see that. The blacks of Judah are the best and most expensive of all the African Negroes. So it's talking about blacks in Judah. It's talking about whiter. They are esteemed in America above all because of their dexterity and willingness to learn everything in a short time. The kingdom of Judah, or whiter, has suffered great revolutions, Dahomey came out of the woods at the head of 100,000 men in 1727, seized it after having swept away, chased away, or taken prisoners its owners, who were more traitors than warriors. The Negro Prince depopulated the whole country. It's talking about the Negro Prince of Dahomey. He depopulated Whydah. It's talking about when they invaded Whydah. In December of each year, he invited the Europeans to the court to attend his father's birthday. There he would immolate a large number of men, women, horses, cows, sheep, goats, chicken, etc., all of whom had their heads cut off and thrown into a hole dug into the ground to serve his father in the next world. They also threw in brandy, corn, handkerchiefs, silk, and all kinds of food and cloth. Then the hole was closed again, and the people were given brandy and some merchandise. The Europeans witnessed this dreadful spectacle, and Dahomey was surrounded by the 3 French, English, and Portuguese directors. He immolated up to 900 men and women on his father's birthday, but afterwards, as he only had 11,000 men left and was in bad terms with all his neighbors, he immolated only a few more. And then it concludes by saying, the inhabitants of this kingdom are called Judaics. So it's talking about, you know, when we read those other sources about the Jews and Whydah believed to be Jews and all that, they have Judaic customs, they were doing this and that. It's talking about those people, and then at the very first 2 sentences it says they were the best and most expensive of all the African Negroes. They were esteemed in America above else because of their dexterity and willingness.
All right, stop for a second. Stop for 1 second.
That's all I need to say about that.
All right, cool. All right, listen, this guy right here, right?
What did he say about the 1709 source? He said what?
Hold on 1 second. This is from Jean Baptiste L'Advocat. That's the guy he's reading from, right? Look at what it says he is. It says he's a Christian Hebraeus, born 1709 in Paris. What happened is, for those who don't understand what's going on here, he's a Hebraeus, Christian Hebraeus. So he literally believes that these people were Whydah, were Judah. He literally believes that. So he interprets Bible scriptures and all that stuff. So he's a Bible guy. So when it says Judah from all the French sources, when they say Whydah, they say Judah. So if you're a Bible believer, you think it's Judah of the Bible. So that error by Jean Ladkowitz or whatever he's saying makes a lot of sense. It doesn't make it true. Now watch this.
I didn't say nothing about the name.
No. I made you talk for 2 minutes. No, don't do that. We allowed you to speak. You can't say golf, he never make you speak. Now let's go to
you address the main point.
Hold on, man. Hold on, bro.
Address the people there who are called Jews and the fact that they went on slave ships.
Bro. Watch out. He's saying they're Judah because of the word Judah being translated, bro.
That's not what he said.
He said the black Jew. He said, what did he say, bro? What did he say?
Where did he say that they were Jews because of Judah? He didn't say that.
He said he called them Jews because of the place called Judah, and he calls it Judah, the real Judah. He's a Hebrew Christian Hebraeus. How many times I gotta tell you this? I told you this before.
My brother, where did he say? Where did he
believes Whydah? Hold on. He believes Whydah is Judah, literally Judah of the Bible. He believes that.
Okay, look. I don't care what he believes. I'm talking about what the documents say about the people who lived there and the fact that they brought to America as slaves.
I got you.
Why is that place called?
No. Everybody quiet. I got this. Now, this is the population of Whydah from 1772 to 1890. Inside of Whydah, the population, we see what the numbers are, right? The slave trade, they almost shipped 2 million people. So we know the people is not from the indigenous Whydah place, right? Now watch this. To prove my point, let's go to Patrick Manning book in Uncommon Market, Slave Trade in the Bight of Benin, 1640 to 1890. Look at this at the top right here. What does it say at the top? It says the ethnic origins of the slaves that left Whydah. Where did they come from? They came from Yoruba. They came from Ardra. They came from Asia. These are not people that are indigenous to Whydah. The Whydah people were the middlemen. You got to know history to talk about a culture, bro. You so wrapped up in this Hebrew Israelite nonsense, you literally believe Whydah is Judah. Now watch this.
I didn't say that, man.
No.
You attacking a straw
man. No. I never interrupted you. I protected you while I was here.
You didn't do a good job of it, but you right
here. Classify slaves as belonging to the Asia peoples, the Yoruba peoples, or other groups such as the Nupe, the Hausa, or the Voltaic peoples of Northern Benin. In some places, especially within the Asia peoples, more specific identification of ethnic origin is possible. But when the slaves came out of Whydah, they weren't from Whydah. They were prisoners of war that were brought to that region to be transported or sold to be slaves. No indigenous, well, I won't say no, but the indigenous people were not enslaved. Now, when the Dahomey Kingdom took over 1727, they had a rule, bro, a law that says you can't enslave Dahomey people. Although he did enslave his wife and all that crazy shit. The president or prime minister, whatever he is, of Dahomey. He did do that. His own son he shipped out as a slave or whatever. But in general, they weren't allowed to enslave Dahomey citizens. So you saying the people of Wida are Judah, what he's saying, he's a Christian Hebraist. That's why I brought up the Jewish Encyclopedia. He's a Christian Hebraist who believes that it's literally Judah. So now let me address one last point regarding that slide. One last point. I promise you. I won't talk anymore about it. Because we got to clear up this Wida shit once and for all. It's bullshit. Here we go right here. Here we go. Wida, the map. What's wrong with the map? The map is anachronistic because at this point, there was no Wida kingdom. The Wida kingdom ended in 1727. This map was 1747. So it's 20 years. It's an anachronistic map. It couldn't be Wida or Judah kingdom because the kingdom was already defeated by the Dahomey. All right? Let's go to the wording of the word. Right here. The first person to call it a name, the era, was Lura. If you notice something here, the Spanish call it Lura or Jura. The French call it Judah. The Dutch call it Fida. The Portuguese call it Ajuda. The English call it Wida. The Fon people call it Hueda. But the Fon people were actually the Fon people actually call it X-Weda, X-W-E-D-A. But watch this though. What language? What language do you speak?
I speak English.
Now, if English pronounces it Wida, and in English in the Bible, Judah is pronounced what? Judah, right? Why didn't the English pronounce it Wida and not Judah?
Because they had J's. The English had J's, right?
Exactly. So they didn't have to say Judah because in English it's pronounced Wida. It's really a transliteration and a pronunciation issue. It's not Judah as in the Bible, like these crazy people like Ladovich, like you're reading in the 1700s. Just because he says it doesn't mean it's real. I have a source that's older. 1660, the Spanish are pronouncing it while they were in the Alada kingdom, pronouncing that the place over there is called Lura or Jura. How is it that the word is pronounced differently by every single culture? The Portuguese call it ajuda, which means help. Wida, Hueda. The Dutch call it Fida. The French call it Judah. The dude that you read is from where? France. So the French call it Judah. Some of the writers are Christian Hebraist Bible guys saying it's Judah of the Bible. So when the slaves, how many slaves went there? Oh, almost 2 million. So when he's saying that the Jews are dead and they were expensive, yes, he's going to say these black Judeans or black Judah or whatever. So when your source says it, it doesn't make it fact. You got to know the history and what you're talking about. Now, bring out that source that said the Egyptians, the Nubians, and the Jews are the same color. Bring out that source now.
Let me respond to everything you just
said. Bring out the source. This is
hold
dead,
on,
right?
hold on. Let me respond.
Bring out the source. We just want the source because you say you got 10 minutes. Let's bring out the source.
No, yeah, I can't just let you say something and not respond to it.
Nah, you said something, I responded.
Let me just
come on, man. I want to deal with all your sources.
It's gonna be 30 seconds. So you want to deal with them, but you don't want me to respond to your rebuttals? Is what you're saying?
Bro, let's move on to a different topic.
Move on after
give me 30
seconds.
You fight for Wida because it's on your YouTube channel, bro. Come on, man.
Give me 30 seconds, all right? Look, Judah, the name, first of all, Judah, there's English sources that spell Wida as Judah. Judah, they spell it like that. I can pull it up.
What time period? Because J is introducing to the language later. You know that, right?
Yeah. Like
can we all just look? This is crazy. Like, stop. The place,
the name, as I said,
place in Israel is not called Judah. You understand that? It's not called. It's not called Judah. The people are called Yahudim. They're Yahudi. These are all translations errors that, like, you are looking at it from an English point of view. So if you did some research, you will understand that in Portugal right now there's a place called Judah.
Okay, I hear you.
These are the same people that came to West Africa that established the Lakado populations and set up slave trade. And so, yes, they would call them the people of Ueda because they are the people that the people from Ueda came from.
Right, well, that's not the point. That's not the point I was trying to
No,
make. If you let me finish.
that's the
Let me
point
finish.
history
So,
makes, though.
okay.
You,
Well,
you
one, I want to say
what you are doing, you are constructing your own
you don't know what I'm
reality.
doing because you won't let me
No,
talk. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't even know what I'm
I've
trying to
listened
say.
to you for like 5 hours, bro, and I've been there myself
Now you
personally.
lying because I ain't been on here 5 hours.
Well,
And I ain't been
You've
talking
been
the
on
whole
here for
time I've been on
5,
here.
nigga. You definitely been on here for
you've been
5.
on here for a while, but you understand
Wow.
my
Lying on
point.
me, bro.
It may have been
I
4
said I've been on here
hours,
talking
but
5 hours.
my
I'm gonna
my
just
my
hop off, bro.
bro,
You
my
just start
point is
lying and
I've
shit.
been
I'm gonna
there.
hop off.
You don't have a necessarily a historical argument. You have a a logical argument.
Why you
The
hop in and
log
try to interrupt me when I'm trying to respond and talk to
that's
Garfield? Me
that's
and
fine.
Garfield was
So
talking.
your logic
Look,
behind how you place
Garfield can
together
handle
facts
himself.
are flawed.
Garfield can handle himself. Look, and I'm not saying he needs to handle himself from me. I'm just saying why you
Now go ahead.
interrupting, bro?
Now
Like,
because
me and him was talking. Things was
I see
going
you
smooth.
going down the same path, and I got compassion in my heart for you, young bro.
You ain't been seeing nothing. You're not even.
That's the reason why I'm passionate about, because I
You're not
see
even
you making
representing what
that
I'm saying
tragic
properly.
mistake.
Come on. Let one person talk at a time, man. It's
That's what
on
I'm saying,
horrible
man.
over
Let
here,
me
man.
talk. Okay, so one, English writings and documents spell it as Judah, the same as in the Bible. Two, as I said multiple times, the name don't matter. I'm talking about what the people there were. There's documents other than the one I just pulled up that say they had Judaic customs, they were Jews, so on and so on. And three, let me reiterate one last time. The name, I don't care what the name of that place was called, what it was called by who. I don't care about none of that. It's saying that the people there were Jews. And then the most important part says that those people was being brought to America on slave ships. That's all I was trying to say. So him talking about the transliterations, this and that, I wasn't making no argument about the
Hey,
spelling
let
or
me ask you
yeah,
one
that's all
question.
I was
Let
trying
me
to say.
ask
So
you one question.
he
Let me ask
wasted
you one
5
question.
minutes. He
Hold
wasted
on,
5
hold
minutes
on.
of his life trying to talk about something I didn't even bring up.
Hold on 1 second.
Shit is
Let me
crazy,
ask you a
man.
question.
People
You
would
say you
just
got
let
an
people
English
talk and
source.
say what they got to say.
Hold on.
Wouldn't
Is
end
the
up
English source after the 1900s or before the 1900s?
what?
Is the English source before the 1900s or after the 1900s?
It don't even really matter because I'm not
Yes,
basing my
it
argument on
does.
that.
It
I
does
just said,
matter.
look, it's like the 1800s, but as I said, it don't matter because I don't care what the name was called. I'm not making no arguments on the name of the place.
No,
I'm
I
making
don't think you get.
arguments
I
on
don't
what the
think you
people
get what
there
I'm
were
saying.
and what
I don't.
happened to them. That's
I
all
don't
I'm trying
think
to
you
say.
get. No, because there was a guy by the name of Lobagola. This guy right here, right? He was the one that was great. You remember this source by your guy Dante? I don't know if you know this source. When they talk about the people in Dahomey and they had the temple and everything, do you know that source? Where they said he had a temple and he was a Jew and they had the 5 books of Moses in Dahomey. Are you familiar with that?
It sounds familiar.
All right. So now the reason why that story exists is this guy right here. I don't know if Robon is here. Is Robon still here? Is he still here? Or he left? Robon brought my attention and truth story about this guy. This guy by the name of Lobagola. He was taken all over America, right? And he was from the Dahomey. He was claiming he was from the Dahomey tribe. So they made him speak in all these big time places. He's all over the news. As you can see, the Aurora Banner, different newspapers all over the world, right? And when he was going over, this guy right here, same guy, speaking at the Kiwanis clubs, West African Bushman talks to Kiwanis. Say he comes from West Africa, he comes from Dahomey, and they had the 5 books of Moses. So this source that Dante has about the Judeans in Dahomey, it stems from this guy from 1911. That's why I asked you, is it before 1900s or after? Because after this guy came about and started telling this story, that's when all these stories about them having the 5 books of Moses in Dahomey. And then he confessed, he wrote a book and confessed that he made it up. He said that he came to Scotland and whatever. Come to find out he was born in Baltimore where comes from. And he made up the whole story. But everybody believed him that they had the 5 books of Moses in Dahomey, and it stems from his story, Lobagola. So that's why I asked you if it's after 1900 or before. Because if it's after, it's from this guy. He's the root of that story. And he's the root. Hold on. He is the root of the 70 AD story. He is the one that made that story first. 70 AD and went into West Africa. He's the first person that taught that. Now the story, you see, you have a source that says whatever. He has it directly. It says 70 AD, we did this at 70 AD and went into West Africa. He's the one that came up with that story, made it popular.
I heard everything you said. I just need clarification on what exactly are you asking if it was before 1900?
I'm asking you, when you have the English story that says Judah, is it before 1900 or after 1900?
Oh, it's before. It's in the 1800s.
All right, cool, no problem. And in the 1800s, it says what?
It just refers to white as Judah. It'll say something like
like this. I have that right here. I'm gonna show you one right now. I think it's the one that Dante always show. I'm gonna show you right now. See,
no, it spells it as Judah though.
Yeah.
But like I said though, I could care less about the name. I'm more interested.
I'm saying to you that the people that write it, I guarantee you they are Bible believers.
No, but I hear you, I feel you, but the thing I'm appealing to is the fact that those people there were recorded as having Jewish customs.
No, they did not.
Man, I got sources showing they did, bro. Man,
he got sources, but I got sources saying that they converts and Hamites. So I mean,
and that's another thing.
We throwing white people against white people, basically.
Right. But look.
All right, let me ask you this: How would you know it's true that they actually were practicing it? How would you know that?
How would you know it's not true? I mean, look,
I'm asking you a simple question.
Look,
how would you know that it's true? Because you're doing what I said earlier in the show. You have your belief, and you're looking for something that agrees with your belief. You never say, "Let me present all the facts on the table, and let's see what agrees with my belief."
Look, even if I had the time to do that,
you research backwards.
Even if I had the time to do all that and present all my sources, I wouldn't be able to do it without it getting interrupted, bro. But look, the same thing. If we reverse that logic and apply it to you, you got a conclusion and you're looking for stuff to support what you believe.
So I don't have a conclusion because I want to be chosen. Why would I have a conclusion?
You have a conclusion. You have a belief, and
I don't have a belief.
So I mean, or whatever you believe, everybody believes something, bro.
I don't have a belief.
Your belief can be that me and the other Israelites are wrong, and you look for stuff to support that.
I am not convinced that African Americans are Israelites.
Let me end by saying this because I gotta hop off. 93, what he just said just now, it's 100% fact. There's always a source to say something else other than what the other person's bringing out. So at the end of the day,
how do you determine which one is true?
Man,
exactly. Exactly.
It's not exactly. We have it's 300 years later, bro.
It's exactly. No, it's not.
No, it's not. You know where we at right now? We use up-to-date sources. Do any up-to-date?
Y'all being mean to our guests.
Yeah, because now he's being facetious.
I'm not being facetious.
You're going back to 1450. You're going back to 1700s, bro. And right now we saying today, as of today, nobody says that but you. It's what we saying. And you're wrong. You're scamming now. Now you scamming. What do the up-to-date sources say, bro? You think you can go back and get an old source that collaborates you, bro? No, it does not. That's not how academic go. And I'm in the middle of talking. Do not over-talk me. I was quiet. You've been talking for 5 hours like he said. 5 hours, bro.
Peace and love, everybody.
Yeah, peace and love.
All right, peace, Tazara.
Yeah, peace and love.
Tazara, you're always welcome, bro.
Peace and love, and get the hell out of here with that scam. You scam with Divine.
He did improve it.
17. It took him 5 hours, yo. He bringing sources from 1701. Get the hell out of here. It's 2025.
So
what did the sources say in 2025 say about African Americans being Hebrews?
So y'all mean to tell me this man went from
5 hours, dog,
from 70 AD to whiter?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I was just waiting for him to say what the actual ethnicities that were in West Africa, but he kind of went around that.
No, bro, it's 2025.
Oh yeah, I get that, but it's common sense that those Africans that were brought over, they had their own. They had to be basically converted into that Christianity. They had their own. They had their own cultures already. They weren't really practicing like that.
Yeah, no one's disagreeing with that. What's amazing to me is that through all that 70 AD, walking across, niggas supposed to be these people supposedly walking across the desert. They still didn't prove it.
Savio, look, this is the problem, right? We let him build his narrative the entire day.
Yo,
we didn't stop him when he was saying that Jacob was a real person. That's the problem. Like we got to get past that.
Right. We should have. What did
you say? What did you say about Jacob?
Jacob was a real person.
Yeah, Jacob's
well, I missed that.
Yeah, we should have stopped him there.
So if Jacob's not a real person, there can't be no 12 tribes. We ain't got to pull no maps and show what.
Y'all didn't kill him when he said that.
Nah, I let him rock. I don't know why I normally would jump on it.
Hey, I'm about to end the show, man. Listen,
Yeah,
man.
we about to go live on Community Skeptics, yo. We about to finish off the
5.5 hours and
I'm
3
hop
hours.
over
I
there.
took my whole day.
That's what I'm about to
Got
do.
me over the Knicks today, man. I ain't got the Knicks on my mind.
Yo,
And that's
yo,
why I
did you
want
like
you to
that
go a little
source,
long, Garfield, because I know it was heavy on your heart, man. I just
Heavy on
wanted
my
you
heart,
to,
man. I'm
you know, I
heartbroken.
want you to fight a little bit and get
Hey,
off.
hey, Garfield.
Yo, you
Nigeria
like that
beat
source I
Jamaica
read?
in the
Yeah, it was
Unified
tight.
Cup yesterday.
Hold on. Let Obi talk. Obi, what you saying, Obi?
Now I was saying Nigeria beat Jamaica in the Unified Cup yesterday.
Ain't nobody talking about that, man. Ain't nobody.
It's NFL football, man. What you talking about?
Ain't nobody.
Hey, it was a good game. It came down to penalty
Really?
kicks, bro.
Really? But they
Hey,
tackling each
this was
other.
a good day though. We beat up some dudes. Listen, man. Let me tell you something, man. There's sources for days. 93 is a better man than me, man. I tell you, man.
No, where 93 at, yo? He said that we was.
Wait, what you mean by that, Garfield? I didn't let him slide. Y'all let Tazarot slide, and overtalked him too.
Back to you, 93.
remember all them sources.
You said we.
I got him. I didn't get a chance.
Back.
Yes,
to
you are. You were.
No, we was
I was
not.
pro
Kemet. We was pro African history. Remember?
Come on, just send me another source.
You can be two. You can be both at the same time.
Nobody was running around. Man.
Nigga, your name is Uncle Ket Sanjetti with a Sar Imhotep Bujawa. Get out of here. Y'all niggas was a singing group, a damn comedic singing group. 5 members.
Damn.
You was the Michael Jackson nigga. You tried to go solo.
Exposed.
I think, buddy, he know that his source was ripped. I think he just want to hang on to practice.
But no, it's not. Obi, put yourself in his position.
Not a prophet in my own.
You notice all these sources he have is like a Google read book, right? That's free from 1700 because he's Googling and saying, show me a source that said we left from Jerusalem in 70 AD. And then he gets it and pops up and says, hey, I got a source. Of course you're going to have a source that said. But I've studied all the sources from the primary sources. There's no, they didn't have no, they didn't run away. All the sources said they went upstate. They went to Upper Galilee.
We got to give him points for bringing a source, though. He did bring a source.
He brought a source.
No, but it would be better if he just say, because even Jewish people, like some of the white people, they'll say like, hey, yeah, I don't really believe in like the whole historicity of the tradition, but I hold on to the faith because of the culture. And he can just, if he just would say, hey, I'm a convert, and I just hold on to the traditions of these folks, and then you don't have to try to connect yourself to all these false avenues.
Thank you. I wouldn't even argue with Divine them if they said that, yo. Think about that, bro.
All right, listen, I'm out of here, man.
Hey, we going over to the Community Skeptics. We going hot now. Now we really getting Divine suspect now.
All right. All right, peace and love, man. We out of here.
All right, peace to everybody.
Peace and blessings.
93, behave yourself.
I got my sources on. I got more than that.
Blessings.
Yes,
Peace
sir.
and pending blessings from the prophethood of iron. Peace and blessings. African Americans.
We're going to get a debate going with Tazarot. I might be able to get him on a debate.
Yeah,
he came up here today.
I'm not debating.
Nah, he'll come, but he think he got us with that 70 AD source, boy. He thought let me jump on because he's scared as a mother. Boy, that boy jumped on, thought, I got Garfield today. I got him.
No, Garfield, you were rare for him.
I don't think they could research though. I think we too good for them.
Yeah.
We gotta stoop to their levels to understand how they think, because if you think you bring a source and you win,
but Garfield,
what's up,
Garfield, you notice that he was talking around, like when I said give the Bible verse reference, he talked around it for like 5 minutes each time, and then he said somebody cutting him off.
Hey, next week gonna be hot, by the way. We're talking about Deuteronomy 28:68 and the transatlantic slave trade. That's gonna be a good show next week.
Oh, that's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna go into that.
Oh, y'all gonna see me go deeper than ever with Deuteronomy 28:68. Oh man. Well, anyway, later, y'all. Peace and love, man. Thank you all for spending time with me today to get over this Knicks loss.
Peace and love.
All right, you good.
All right, I'm out.